Hmm. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. We are here today. It is a beautiful Friday. It is the end of the week. The NASDAQ is up. Oil is up. Yields are up. The Kospi index overnight is up. Memory stocks are up. And one of the things that's definitely up is Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit almost 80,000 this morning. It's at 77.3s right now for Bitcoin. But Bitcoin hit almost 80,000 and got up to 79,000 and roughly 500 this morning earlier. And yeah, Bitcoin is still rising on that kind of stealth QE the Treasury and Bassett are doing here today. Now on Monday, they're supposed to unveil with regarding Bassett and everything, the economic isolation plan that's supposed to be going live. That's one of the reasons oil is still up. Or no, that's one of the reasons oil is still up to $87 a barrel. Bassett told CNBC yesterday that this is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world, end quote. He said, "You are either with us or against us. It is going to work in Iran, and we are going to collapse this regime." He said, "If you insist on doing business with them, either transferring money, buying their oil, or doing seaborne ship transfers, then the U.S. Treasury will put its full might and force towards enforcing against you. It is a 1-2 punch," he says. "We have the blockade on Iran, and we are going to have the toughest sanctions in history." Now, there was a little bit of a China warning here. It says if it would do them a big service to get with the program, keep in mind that the Chinese get 50% of their energy from inside the Gulf. And he said, if we are doing the maximum economic pressure, then that means that likely there will not be a large-scale kinetic restart, but I would emphasize that is for now. And so, yeah, we have that going on. But again, Bitcoin is flying after kind of the stealth QE that was announced, earlier in the week. I believe on Tuesday is when it was announced. Bitcoin is ripping. Shorts are getting squeezed out a little bit. And gold is absolutely flying. If you look at Bitcoin here, here's Bitcoin this morning, guys. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing things this morning. It is up to 77,420s, 430s. Hit almost 80K. Here's 80K right here. We got up to 79.9 or 497s here. Here's 80,000. And so I think that level is really staring at us for crypto. If you look at gold here this morning, gold is still pumping as well at 46.55s. Now, the interesting thing about all of this right now is that if you look at like yields are kind of bouncing back after the Treasury announcement regarding the kind of stealth QE they announced earlier in this week. If you look at like 30-year Treasury yields, they're still pretty high. One of the reasons the Treasury did this is because longer term yields were at 19-year highs. Here at 30-year yields now, you can see the move they made from the Treasury announcement here. You can see how much they fell from that. But again, they basically rebounded. They're up probably 3/4 of the way back up here. Here's where the Treasury, double buyback was announced. And here is where we are now. So they did rebound yesterday regarding yields. Yields are back up. And this is heading into next week. And next week is an absolutely huge week for markets. We have, number one, we've got Bassett supposed to debut the economic isolation plan earlier in the week. We have NVIDIA earnings. We've got GDP data, PCE inflation data. We have the first Kevin Warsh Jackson Hole symposium next week where they talk about economic, conditions and potential policy path. But he doesn't like to give forward guidance. So we will we will see what the Jackson Hole symposium does to markets next week. I think, honestly, the biggest catalyst is probably NVIDIA earnings. We are heading into NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday next week. That is a major catalyst. And gold is pushing almost the highs of the day again here. It's at 46.50s. And NVIDIA has been volatile. If we look at NVIDIA here, NVIDIA has been moving. It's still at 218s, but look at this big drop it made earlier in the day here. So NVIDIA is volatile. And let me say hello to the chat here. Good morning, guys. Good morning. What's up? Ava, Don, Don't Fight the Fed, Randy, Spacex, Steve, Edson, Jonathan, Old Hat, Glass Half Full, Keith, Pav, Ace, TV, Asif, First Choice, Greenlight, Todd, Max, Ben, Dave Down Under, Boo Boo Bear, Jungle, Corey, Slumdog, Vegas, Dragos, J Violet, Caesar, Varv, VA, Chris, The Million Pound Project, How I Made, Pew, MK, Caesar, I think I said Caesar already, Kaz, Real, what's up, dude? K, hello, Frederick, XM, Wowo, Ali, or Ali, Envy, It's Measy, Exotic, Luxurious, Darko, Brian. Hello, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see what we get in the markets today, but look at Nvidia's move this morning. I didn't even catch this. Let me see if I can figure out. Yeah, Nvidia earnings to next week could be. We have Nvidia, CrowdStrike, and Marvell earnings next week. So this is probably the news that we got earlier regarding Nvidia's in talks with chip startup Rebellions for a potential deal, is what this news is that drug Nvidia down here today. So Nvidia in talks for a potential deal regarding chip startup Rebellions seems to be the news. And yeah, Nvidia is moving down. But look at oil right now as I speak here. Oil coming down and the NASDAQ is shooting higher here. This looks like some maybe news. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if this is anything moving. But something's going on regarding oil here. Look at oil fall. Let me check a tweet. Let me see what we got going on today. Hold on. Yeah, look at oil dip. You look for news. We had the president say earlier today, I concluded a deal to substantially lower the price of ground beef for working American families. As everyone knows, under President. Yeah, so I don't think that's doing this. But look at oil. Oil about to go red on the day. The Iran president Pezeshkian says Iran should end the war now that it is in a position of strength and the world acknowledges its victory via ISNA. And so again, the Iran president Pezeshkian says Iran should end the war now that it is in a position of strength and the world acknowledges its victories. This probably is what's moving oil down at least a little bit here. And so I'll put this data in the chat right now, but I think that's probably what's going on. I think that is probably the news that's driving this here. I'll put this up on screen. But again, here's the news. Iran should end the war now that it's in a position of strength and the world acknowledges its victory, according to ISNA. Look at oil come down. So oil is dropping. The NASDAQ is also pushing to the session high here. NASDAQ just broke the session high up to 29,520s in the NASDAQ. And I think 500 is an interesting level, but this is pushing oil down and pushing the NASDAQ higher here. So some morning news today. Now, sorry to hear that, Sleepy. Down 10K. Hey, what's up, Kato? What's up, Bruno? Yeah, I think this is what it is. Again, Iran's acting defense minister says we never started war, but will not allow military aggression. We heard some other news this morning. SanDisk is launching 2 NAS-focused high-endurance solid-state drives. The NASDAQ or the NAS 600 using SATA and NAS 800 using NVMe. But yeah, look at oil, guys. Oil, interesting, down. You know, almost giving back all of its gains here on the day. Almost back down to basically flat on the day. And I believe this is the Iran president news, Pezeshkian news, saying Iran should end the war now that it's in a position of strength and the world acknowledges it's a victory. That's probably what's dropping oil. Hey, what's up, Good News? What's up, Sam? What's up, Vegas? Over 3 billion shorts liquidated from Bitcoin. Yeah, look, Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's up for a lot of different reasons. Bitcoin is up again for a lot of different reasons. We also had news that Claude and Anthropic are going to be trying to beat the SpaceX IPO in terms of the record, in terms of the largest IPO in history. But yeah, Bitcoin number one. Bitcoin's up on the Besant news, obviously, the news that pushed yields down. But again, we also had, the president meet with crypto execs and say good things here. But yeah, Bitcoin ripping, multiple reasons, all essentially aligning at once here. Bitcoin touched almost 80K overnight, the highest since May, up nearly 20% this week, which would be the largest week in Bitcoin gains since March of 2024. There's a bunch of different catalysts. Again, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced earlier in the week doubling long-term bond buybacks from $2 to $4 billion per operation on Wednesday. It takes effect September 9th. Again, it's kind of stealth QE. That's what it's being called by the market. Standard Chartered's Geoffrey Kendrick said, I quote, "This is exactly the type of thing Bitcoin loves. Investors should be positioning for 100,000 by the end of the year." Van X said Treasury actions reigniting fears of fiscal dominance. Again, fiscal weakness equals currency debasement. Debasement equals anti-fiat. Anti-fiat equals Bitcoin and gold, essentially, both hitting highs simultaneously. Gold up to almost 4,700s this morning. Bitcoin, again, sitting at 77s as we speak right now. We had $3 billion in crypto shorts liquidated, 1.7 billion in Bitcoin shorts alone. Tom Lee, called it the second largest short liquidation in history. Market was heavily leveraged towards shorts, expecting bond yield stress to hurt crypto. But when the Treasury kind of made that shock regarding long-term bond purchases, shorts got wiped out. We also, again, had Trump meet with crypto industry leaders at the White House Wednesday, urged Congress to pass clarity. Closer vote September 15th, same day as the FOMC. SEC also published a landmark regulatory proposal Tuesday. CFTC opened inaugural digit asset session. Citi is preparing institutional Bitcoin custody and more. So a lot of stuff helping Bitcoin. And we'll see if the rally continues. Honestly, it's a busy week. It's a busy week. So, yeah, it's essentially QE. I mean, it gives liquidity to bonds, pushes bond prices higher, pushes yields down. But yields are back up. They're back up to, 3/4 of the way that they, 3/4 of the downward move in yields has been filled on the upside. We all know the real reasons Kramer sold his Bitcoin last week. Oh, that definitely did it. Hey, what's up, Vegas? Just say you don't know. That's it, went long in Bitcoin. Bro, of course I know why Bitcoin is up, dude. We've been covering this Treasury announcement all week, dude. We can say it's technical, and that's fine. But I mean, realistically, when you look at Bitcoin here, let's take a look at it. Let's put a longer term chart up too. Look, the Treasury announcement was right here, brother. Right here. So, I mean, we can say it's technical. We can say it's technical. And maybe some of this is technical. I mean, shorts getting liquidated, it's technical. But it's obviously from the Treasury announcement as well, clearly. It's obviously from the crypto meeting they did as well. So, honestly, it's a mix of a lot of different things. It's technicals and fundamentals. Kramer doesn't miss. Yeah. 4-year cycle doesn't miss. When Bitcoin goes up to 50K, I'll be at break even finally. Woohoo. When it goes up 50K, hey, good luck, dude. Are you buying Bitcoin right now, chat? Let me know. Yeah, I mean, charts certainly work on crypto as well. And I think because crypto is a newer market, charts are even more relevant. A lot of people think Kevin Warsh could offer some, easing relief at Jackson Hole. They said he could provide, could is the key word here, and I'm reading this article, he could provide investors with modest reassurance at the next Jackson Hole symposium, according to TD Securities. Markets will look for clear signs. And I think maybe with the CPI data we got, we're going to have more pause optimism, essentially, is I think what could be going on. Again, the big news that hit just a few minutes ago is that crude slid back down towards break even on the day. Still not break even, but it's closer to break even on the day after the Iran President Pezeshkian comments said Iran should end the war now that it's a position of strength. So essentially him saying that Iran should end the war, boosting oil back, or pushing oil back down. No, I just closed my long on Bitcoin. Hey, good luck, Bearmere. Chart boys are right a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not hating on anybody. I like technicals too, but I think this is a mix of a lot of different things. I mean, this is bond simulation. Is really like the catalyst that boosted Bitcoin. If we look at the technical chart of Bitcoin, this is bond simulation that sparked it for sure. So again, Besant in the Treasury announcement on Wednesday. Yeah, and I remember when we covered this, that markets just started to fly. NASDAQ started to fly. Bitcoin, gold started to fly. Bitcoin and gold are up in the same way here. So here's gold on the day. Gold is still, again, gold futures at highs of the day basically right now. They're just underneath it. But you can watch this 4650 level on gold and see if it holds. But like we are close to the highs of the day in gold as well. Gold and Bitcoin moving in unison. And even if gold, right, like we can look at Bitcoin and gold, it's the same story, it's the same chart basically right now for Bitcoin and gold. Here's a 20-day chart. Again, the Treasury announcement happened here. So the Treasury announcement was here, and you can kind of see gold fly up on that. Same thing with Bitcoin, you know, right when the Treasury announcement happened. TLT bonds ripped. You can look at TLT and see a very similar story here, although TLT didn't hold as well. But again, the Treasury announcement was here. Was around here. And you can see long-term bonds spike here ahead of it. Here's the Treasury announcement here. Same time, right around 7:30 in the morning, my time. I mean, at 70K. But today get wrecked. I got Blake got caught up listening to Ozzy. Hey, that happens to everybody, bro. Bitcoin dumping hard. Is it? I don't think it is. I mean, it's pulling back a little bit for sure. Under 77s now. But I mean, it's up so much. It hit almost 80K this morning. So, time to buy was at 59,000. I've shorted both gold and Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash. None of those trades are doing great. Yeah, I mean, I bet they're not doing that great over the last week for sure, Keith. Sorry to hear, brother. Check MicroStrategy. Strategies rip it up here. Where's Stretch? Stretch is almost to 100 again. I mean, yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's going up so much, it's going to be beneficial, obviously, for strategy. I FOMO bought at 79K. I'm so effed now. Hey, bro, be careful. Be careful. I mean, look, if we run into the 4-year cycle at the end of this year, on the last quarter of the year, I mean, hey, maybe we'll go up more. Yeah, Strive doing good as well. Shorts had over a year free riding. I mean, again, chat, do you believe the 4-year cycle in Bitcoin? Do you believe it? Yes or no? Put yes or no in the chat. Let me know how you feel. Do you believe the 4-year cycle? Saying this getting pumped. I did get an Apex violation yesterday. I saw it this morning. The violation was from scaling, apparently. I scaled 14. I'm only allowed 13 and a half. And apparently I got a violation. My account's still active and everything like that, but I did get a violation. So, boo. My fault. It's unconfirmed due to the lack of data. Do you believe the 4-year cycle? Sam has to believe yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, not anymore, yes. Bitcoin hit 79K, not anymore. A lot of salty bears in the chat. 4-year cycle is intact until proven otherwise. Good morning, John. What's up, SC? How you doing, dude? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really happy about it. But hey, I broke a rule. And rules are not meant to be broken, I think they say. So, Bro, I feel like somebody's creating fake accounts asking where Brit is. I've said where Brit is numerous times. And everybody, I don't know if it's fake accounts that are signed in and signed out or keep asking. But Brit's coming back for the big streams. He will be here for the big streams. You know. And so he's going to be coming back for next week. I already told him he's coming back next week. And he said, all right. So, I'm at Brit's will here. It's up to Brit. It's definitely not Brit's fake account. Brit's not super tech savvy, so he's not gonna be creating fake accounts. The big stream next week, honestly, bro. There's numerous. Nvidia Wednesday is the single biggest day of the week next week for sure. Why is Wednesday? It's either Wednesday or Friday. I think it's Wednesday because Wednesday is Nvidia earnings. Nvidia earnings, GDP, and PCE inflation all drop Wednesday. So Wednesday's the single biggest day of the week, I think. But Jackson Hole Symposium, if Warsh feels spicy and gives us some outlook, which is low odds, I think, maybe that's going to move things more. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But what are you guys interested in buying today? What sector? Memory names in the Kospi have bounced back, partly due to like Samsung news overnight. In the news that dropped, like Nvidia here, Nvidia had the news regarding them doing a deal. Let me find what that news was. But Nvidia did have news. Bloomberg at about 2:45 Central Time this morning said Nvidia is in talks with Korean chip startup Rebellion. The talks include partnership, investment, or acquisition. Jensen Huang personally met Rebellion CEO this week. That company is valued at $2.6 billion, backed by SK Hynix, Samsung Ventures, and ARM. It specializes in AI inference NPUs. They're trying to challenge Nvidia a little bit, maybe, but they acknowledge the competitive threat. Circular financing concerns might be amplified a little bit on this, but again, Samsung, SK Hynix own Rebellion stakes as well. Both are Nvidia HBM suppliers. So good for Kospi. Little bad for Nvidia, but Nvidia has rebounded all the way back up here today. I want to buy Monster Energy drinks, buy gold. Watching Walmart. Walmart's down a lot after its earnings and bad guidance yesterday. Its worst day in a long time. Walmart's at 103s right now. It didn't move that much at the opening bell, but it did drop. It's at 103s right now for Walmart, so Walmart might be interesting. Again, gold did just break highs of the day as well here. Look at gold. Gold got up to 46.61 in gold futures. So gold did break highs of the day just now. Getting super violent before New York Open. Can't imagine what happens when New York opens. Gold silver buyers will buy your freedom. Colbit's camping gear. Buy low, sell high. Walmart is expensive as per PE ratio. What's the PE ratio on Walmart right now? I'm not holding Walmart. I'm sure the PE ratio is about 42s. Yeah, it's a little high. I mean, it's not that high compared to tech, you know, but it's still not low. You know, a PE ratio of, ideally you want like super low PE. 40 something's not super low. It's over 30, you know. Gold is in a rejection zone. Gold, let's get it. My gold miner ETF is going to the moon. Is Walmart a buy or sell here? Chat, what do you guys think? Walmart buy or sell? I don't know, dude. I don't mind buying it, but I'm going to wait. Silver at 70. Yeah, silver, gold flying. I mean, obviously on the Besson announcement is partly driven by this. Gold, silver is testing highs. Got up to $70.08 an ounce earlier this morning. But look at oil, man. Again, the news about Pezeshkian and Iran saying we should end the war now that we've won, essentially, is what he said. The world acknowledges its victory. Yeah, I mean, I like the last peak was fully loaded. 3-day rule. Walmart counting that stimulus. Bye, baby, bye. Regarding Walmart, hey, we'll see. Again, the president did say yesterday, and one of the big escalating things that we got yesterday.
I wrote my daughter.
Oh my gosh, dude, these ads, bro. The big news we got yesterday, obviously here. Hold on, let me see. was that the president said that we were going to unveil the largest economic isolation plan regarding Iran ever the day before yesterday. That has been boosting oil up. I got to keep scrolling through ads. He said, quote, "No one has given Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today I'm announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country." And he said some more escalating things. And we're supposed to get details regarding this Monday. So Monday, we're supposed to get more details regarding this economic isolation plan. But we'll see if oil stays low. We'll see if oil stays low. The channel just about got more interesting. Bitcoin and going up helps Iran even more. Walmart's going to fill the gap. 96 to 100. Hey, what's up, Peggy? Is it the right decision to learn English through your streams? No. I use a lot of slang. I talk really quickly. It's probably not the move. Should he learn English through my streams, guys? Am I an English teacher? Probably not. I talk really fast. I use a lot of slang. I don't think I'm the channel to learn English. I mean, you can try, bro. You can try. Will we get more escalation over the weekend as well is another story here. Heading into like such a big catalyst week here. Gold actually, or oil actually went a little red on the day for somewhat. My last name is London. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Top 3 worst English teacher ever. You talk too much rubbish. Definitely too much rubbish. Never learn English from a Louisianian. I take offense to that, bro. I take offense to that, dude. You know? Like, why can't I teach English here? You know? Don't take that away from me. I'm practicing English quite well here from Czech. Hey, thank you, brother. You know, English John, that's right. John, you're the top 7 most real English teacher. Definitely top 7. Do I speak American? I definitely speak American. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Christian? How you doing, dude? Walmart, $98 to $95 at best. All right. We can continue to hate on my English skills, and I understand. You know. Another one of the big story is Anthropic here. Again, Anthropic is trying to compete with the SpaceX IPO now. Citi is getting involved and more. But again, Anthropic trying to compete. They hope to beat SpaceX with a larger IPO than SpaceX. Again, oil is heading up, but Anthropic expected to at least match or exceed the size of SpaceX's initial public offering. The SpaceX IPO came in at a record $75 billion. They made Claude. They're also expected to add Citi to the banks working on the offering as well. And so, will they come in with a higher IPO than SpaceX? Chat, Anthropic, will they come in with a higher IPO than SpaceX? Or the language of technical analysis. You'll make good money teaching English in Japan. I thought you said X24. I thought you said I speak too much rubbish. You know, rubbish John is what they said. I thought you said I spoke too much rubbish, bro. Definitely too much rubbish here, you know. No, they're not going to? No, you don't think so? Let's do a poll here. We haven't done a poll this morning. Does oil close the day over Does oil close the day over 87 a barrel for WTI crude? Does oil close the day over 87 for WTI crude? Is going to be the poll question here. Your rubbish is rubbing them the wrong way. Supreme rubbish. Do the poll. The poll is now live. Vote on the poll now. 71% so far say yes, it does. 50% now. 56% say yes. Yes, on live streams. I mean, I definitely speak rubbish on the live streams. Robin Hood. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start trading probably a little bit earlier today. And get a violation, though. I'm not really happy about the violation here. You know? What I think they're going to do is just remove my profit from yesterday. Yesterday, we ended up at the end of the day making like 1,500 or so, but I think they're going to take it away from me now. I'm tempted to buy this dip in the NQ here. We got a lot of optimism, but it is Friday, and we could kind of turn back down here, unfortunately. So, I think you're a quite gentle person. Definitely gentle. Might buy 500s here, though, in the NASDAQ. Thought you meant on YouTube. Your pronunciation is clear. I tries. Britt would disagree with that. Britt always corrects my pronunciation. I don't know if my pronunciation is good. Depends on the word. Silver and gold miners. I'm gonna be trading the NASDAQ, gold, oil, maybe the S&P or the Dow if we're feeling spicy today. I might buy this 29,500 level in the NASDAQ, though. I think 29,500 very relevant to pay attention to. Big psychological whole dollar number, confirmed support and resistance, and I think it's just relevant. The only question I have today is news. If we look at like a 30-minute chart here, you can see 29,500. We got a lot of support around this spot right here over the last few days. But we're staring at 29,500. So let's see if we get anything good. Always a chance for a dump. Did you just mispronounce pronunciation? No. I mean, you're from Europe, though. So y'all say aluminium, and we say aluminum. So, I mean, maybe I did in you know. All right, I'm going to buy this dip here. It's a little spicy, but we're going to try to buy it. We'll take 4 contracts here. All right, we are in at 500s. I just want to see if we pop at 500s and rebound back up. We might take up to 6 contracts here at 5s. NASDAQ is in a range, though. I just want to see if we have any news come out. Again, we did have news about Iran's President Pezeshkian saying we should end the war now that the world acknowledges its victory. And so, we did have that news earlier. How is oil high and tech is also good today? I mean, that's been happening a lot. In the middle of the Iran, start of the conflict, in the middle of starting the conflict with Iran, markets broke all-time highs right afterwards. So they can certainly trend that way. Oil and tech can trend with each other. I mean, there's not really much of a correlation. There's a little bit, but not much. Police in the U.S. is 5-0. Oh, it's 5-0. It's Popo. It's, you know, the cops. I don't know any other nicknames. I'm sure you guys do. Just about time here for a drop in oil. Again, UBS sees the S&P 500 bull run extending. They raised their S&P price target to 8,100 for December and 8,400 for June, citing strong earnings and resilient growth. We also see that DeepSeek has unveiled an experimental multimodal AI model capable of analyzing images, screenshots, and text while performing autonomous tasks. It's called DeepSeek V4 Flash Vision EXP. It reportedly approaches Anthropic's Opus in multimodal agent performance while retaining DeepSeek's latest text, reasoning, and agent capabilities. I'm going to set a stop loss here, right around here. just in case. But again, MicroStrategy or strategy up big today. Bitcoin up big. But the news pushing oil down and markets higher is President in Iran Pezeshkian said, quote, Iran should end the war now and that is in a position of strength and the world acknowledges its victory. Strategy Bitcoin holding goes green. What's up, Zeke? How you doing today, brother? All right, we're basically flat. I want 6 contracts here, though. 6. Let's see if we can get them. I can add more. I have to update my stop here, but I didn't really get 6, but that's okay. I mean, we got a bounce at 29.5. I just didn't take big enough size here. Not really a large bounce either. Where are you guys watching the stream from today, guys? Where are you watching the streams? The stream, singular, from? All right, here's a little dip here. I'm going to add more to this now. All right, we're in 6 contracts. I'm going to have to adjust my stop loss here. Put it in right there. Puerto Rico, Poland, Peru, Nuremberg, Germany, YouTube, Atlanta, Georgia, Serbia, Canada, Belgium. Do we have that many overseas people here, bro? Do we have that many? Indonesia, Zeke. Interesting. Ireland, Arkansas, Long Beach. Are you in Cebu for a chess tournament, Max? Are you really? Or are you just saying things? Thailand, Norway, Italy. Bro. Bulgaria. No U.S. people here? Do I have that little U.S. people? Maybe that's why my pronunciation gets made fun of here. Chicago. Hey, good luck, dude. Like I said, man, I've got a nemesis in chess. I'm pretty sure it's like a freaking 12-year-old. You know, his name is like Roblox Buddy something. You know, freaking jerk. Checkmated me in like 12 moves, or you know, a week or two ago. He's been sending me invites ever since. He might think I'm 12. Maybe he's a predator. Miami, Florida. What's up, dude? Philly. Okay. Louisiana. What's up, Charlie Rick? How you doing today, dude? Yeah, like, I wish I would... My dad used to play chess with me. But I took about a 20-year hiatus. But my dad used to play chess with me all the time. So I learned a little bit when I was young. But those kids that learn a lot when they're young, bro, they're hard to beat. They've been playing since they were freaking 6. You know, they're destroying people already. They're hard to beat. Albuquerque. It's all an illusion. England. Georgia. Chicago. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about Chicago crime. I can't say anything, dude. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I really can't say anything. You know, I just can't say anything regarding that. I love my hometown. Go Tigers. Go Astros. You know. Hey, listen, you don't have to spam, brother. Maybe I shouldn't have even said anything, dude. All right, so we're in this trade. Nothing's happened since I entered the trade, but we are kind of pushing. Okay, we're going to take a little bit off here. We did get the bounce right at 500. Let's see if it holds. But we have taken some profit, so if it turns on us, we'll still be okay. Long Island, New York. Oh, man, as I say that, we turn. I got my stop loss set, but I'll have to reduce it to 4 contracts now. All right, we're at 4. I love your hometown because of Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates is great, man. We were on Kevin Gates way before everybody else, so. But I like Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates got some good music. Yeah, the NASDAQ has not done anything. We'll come back to this trade. We do have a stop loss set. Let's take a look at oil here. Oh, at 86.80s a barrel. Oil's starting to rebound all the way back up. I don't think there's any news to drive this, but let's see. I honestly thought this was an overreaction to this post. You know? I genuinely thought this was an overreaction. I didn't think oil should have dropped as much as it did based off of Pezeskian saying we should end the conflict now. He's usually saying optimistic things. He's not really one of those guys that comes out and is like, hey, you know, we will never give up, never surrender. You know, he's not really one of those guys. So I think the Saints have a chance. Don't look at pre-market or preseason, but I think Saints have a chance. Yeah, I remember that. First choice. It's pronunciation, not pronunciation. What the heck does that mean, Sam? Kentucky. Hey, what's up, Pawn? How you doing, bro? All right, so we might get stopped out on the rest, but we already took some profit here, so we're basically flat as of now. I do want to see if 29,500 holds us up. I need to make an algo that'll make every decision you make. It'll go opposite and make millions. Yeah, I mean, definitely. You need to do that. Sign me up. I'll sell it. You know, inverse Jod. Netherlands. Salt Lake City. Hey, what's up, dude? Salt Lake City's nice, bro. Do you get tired of trading? I don't really get tired of trading. The only thing I get tired of is waking up early in the morning. You know? To have the chat make fun of my pronunciations here. Yeah, so I get tired of getting up early, but that's all right. Britt will correct you. He'll definitely correct me later. All right. I might get stopped out on the rest, which is fine. $11.14 coming for the Tigers. Are you an Alabama farmer, Jude? That sounds like an Alabama game. I'm assuming that you're talking about Bama. Or are you talking about the Longhorns? Okay, you're talking about the Longhorns. Yeah, Longhorns. Easy money here, bro. They're easy money, dude. We got stopped out, which is fine. We're down slightly on the day here. NASDAQ starting to come back down. I might buy it again at 485s, but I'll wait a little bit now. SOFR rate, again, basically stayed the same. Again, some people do think that Kevin Warsh could offer some relief in Jackson Hole next week. Do y'all think he'll give any type of forward guidance, though? I mean, look. The Fed minutes report came out Wednesday. And a lot of people interpreted it as hawkish, but yields went down. Meaning, especially 2-year yields went down, and odds of a hike went down slightly. And so, I interpret it as somewhat dovish. And the reason I interpret it as dovish is because many of the Fed voters agreed essentially that we should wait to move rates until we get incoming data. You know, we should wait to move rates waiting for incoming data. And the incoming data we've gotten since that was dovish. We had lower CPI, lower PPI inflation, weaker jobs. And so we've had data come out since they said that, and the data was dovish. It lowered yields. It showed lower inflation than expected. We saw weaker labor than expected. All dovish things here. So I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I do not think we're raising rates. The only argument I think that makes sense for raising rates in September is specifically if the Treasury did this buyback announcement and this buyback plan to kind of prepare us and hedge against a rate hike next meeting. I think that is plausible. And that could be what's going on here. But I still don't know if it's going to happen. I think they're going to say, hey, CPI data was lower than expected. PPI data was lower than expected. The labor market was weaker than expected. But look at the NASDAQ start to come back down here. So the NASDAQ is starting to fall back down a little bit. And y'all can let me know, do you think we should raise rates next meeting? Do you think we should? I agree, a pause. I miss Powell in the thumbnail. Oh, he's never coming back. Look at the market start to turn back down here, though. So we are starting to pull back down. We're right around the 200 exponential. I don't see any news that could do this. I think this is just markets pushing down a little bit. Fast up, fast down. Buyback is a flop. That rally already faded. I agree. A pause, yes. We had Japan CPI inflation come out last night, and it was higher than expected in Japan, right? So we did have Japanese inflation, CPI inflation come out yesterday. It was higher than expected here yesterday. And let's take a look at rate odds. I don't think I've looked at them this morning yet. Oh, dude, my throat hurts. I don't know if my throat hurts because yesterday I was rolling with a white belt that was brand new. And he was like, I was like, how long you been training? He's like, oh, today is my first day. And so, you know, like, I'm kind of just like letting him work a little bit and doing his thing. And dude gets a rear naked choke on me and just, you know, and now I don't know if that's why. That could definitely be why. But my throat's feeling a little itchy today. I don't know if that's what happened. We have needed a rate hike for quite a while now. Yeah, I mean, but okay. Will a rate hike do anything to oil-driven inflation, though? Like, will a rate hike do anything to oil-driven inflation? My knees don't hurt. No, my knees are fine. Greatest knees of all time. No, I won't, trader. I will not get sick. All right, let's see if we hold. Hey, what's up, CJ? No, but a hike have an impact on stocks. Possible short liquidity spike earlier. I'm skeptical. It could be the vape for sure, but I mean, you know, I've been doing this for longer than I want to admit, but inflation is caused by printing. Yeah, I mean, maybe. All right, so we're right at the 200 EMA. I do want to see if we bounce here at the 200 exponential. I might buy a little bit of this. All right, I did buy a little bit of it just now. Let's see how this trade goes. We hit the 200 EMA. We got the short-term moving average here, though. I don't want to see that prop it down, but bull flag on yields. Yeah, yields are back up today. Again, we showed yields earlier. They are back up some. If we look at like 2-year yields, they're not really doing too much, but they longer term bond yields have pushed back some today for sure. Like, here's longer term bond yields. Here's a 5-day chart. Here's where the Treasury announcement was. And here's where we are now. So longer term bond yields have rebounded back up some. All right, there we go. I'm going to take a little bit off here, just lock this in, see if we can push up higher. Maybe I'll add to it. We'll see. Oh my gosh, it's so... Who is this? I mean, I guess my last name's London. Maybe I should play English rap on my stream. But that's gotta go. Yields will top 15%. No. I hope not, dude. Alright, so we are agreed on this trade. I might add to it. We took the 200 EMA bounce here after a big pullback. It's not a big trade though. Maybe we can add more to this. I'm trying to take larger size. English rappers always sound so goofy. In it, you know. In it, love. All right, so we are back up here. We'll see what this does. NASDAQ did bounce right at the 200 exponential though. I'm looking like Sheamus. Is that his name? Dude, I have no idea who this dude is. I'm gonna grow my beard like that though. All right, NASDAQ still climbing higher here. I'm gonna go ahead and just get out of this and just take the profit and wait. Higher rates are coming. Yeah, I wanted to get out before 29,500. I am watching 29.5s here. 29.5s could push us back down, so we'll wait for it, but it got close to 4.75 the other day. That's what caused all this along with Japan. Yeah, so we just tapped 29,500. Here's 29,500 here on the NASDAQ. I think a lot of people are watching that level. This is why I got out, is because we're pushing back down. We made money on that last trade, but higher rates for 2027. I understand buying puts, but I don't understand how can be short something for so long and not close. OPEX pitting is at 29,500. Yeah, man. What do you, again, we're going to go back to the Bitcoin topic. Look at Bitcoin, man. Does it close over? Does it test 80,000 again today for Bitcoin? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Does Bitcoin hit 80K today? It got really, really close earlier this morning. I don't know if we're going to have enough optimism for that, but does Bitcoin hit 80K today? It could. We'll see. Bitcoin in a short squeeze. It sure does. Yes, yes, no, yes, yes. Is the chat bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? I can't really tell. I think most people are bullish on Bitcoin in the chat. But I think you got some people that are like, Bitcoin's going to zero. Bitcoin's worthless. Bitcoin's not a real currency. Bitcoin is this and that. But I assume most people in here are bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. I've been saying this for a long time. 79 to 80.5K, a lot of short squeeze. Bitcoin will hit 50 before 100. Crypto bros definitely want 80K, bullish. Whatever Bitcoin is, people want it right now. Bullish with all the uncertainty with the dollar. Yeah, the Dixie has been down. I mean, the Treasury announcement is going to be dropping the Dixie, but it is at 98s right now. Recently, it was over 100 with higher yields. It was at 101s back here in June. It was over 100 back at the end of July, so 3 weeks ago. But it's now under 99s. It's at 98s here for the dollar index. Bullish eventually. Surely there has to be a pullback now. I don't even know how to short Bitcoin. Oh, there's ways. Bitcoin going to 1 million someday. Today I'm building a short. Hey, good luck, Keith. I mean, actually, no. Not good luck to you, sir. I want Bitcoin to go up. Shame, Keith, you know. At most, we hit 83,000 before consolidation. Where's the top? Yeah, so look, this is why, if you look at the NASDAQ here, and this is why I watch these big psychological levels. We actually drew this one on the chart. This is why we got out of our position, is because whole dollar numbers do act as, at the very least, short-term resistance here, and 29,500 being kind of the middle range between 29 and 30. Makes it relevant. This is why we got out. Now, maybe we end up pushing back up. It's possible, but I just didn't think holding on to that long up to past 29,500 made much sense here. We also bounced at the 200 exponential, at least close to it. But maybe we get another pushback up here in the NASDAQ. We're watching it for sure. How do you short Bitcoin? I mean, dude, you can trade Bitcoin futures. You can trade... there's a lot of ways to short Bitcoin, bro. You can short Bitcoin on most major crypto exchanges, I think. Yeah, IBIT is the Bitcoin ETF. Strategy is a little different. All right, so we're seeing news that a Saudi Aramco loaded VLCC has transited the Strait of Hormuz and is headed to Sohar, Oman, according to Argus Media, citing ship tracking data. We also got news that China will support company research into high-end ship tech. Again, gold is moving up with Bitcoin. Most of this is, again, the Treasury announcement yesterday. But it is starting to pull back, and gold's about to hit the 200 exponential at 46.50s here, 46.46. Hey, shout out to the follow on X.com. Give me a follow on X.com at Beginner Trades, chat. We appreciate it. Finally, a gold pullback. It's very small here. Is gold a buy right here? What do you guys think? We do have flash PMI data today as well at 9:45. So we do have flash PMI at 9:45. Don't buy an inverse ETF and hold though. Inverse ETF suffer from daily reset decay. Dude, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to quit vaping here. It's not like I want to vape. All right, I'm trying. Trust me, my jiu-jitsu skills are much worse now. If I'm doing this, Iraq's prime minister said he sent the oil and finance ministers to Saudi Arabia to seek higher OPEC plus production quota, according to Argus journalist El Halabi. Would you try Zen? No, I'm not really. That type. I'm old, bro. You know, I don't have time for all those new age chewing tobacco type things, brother. Nicorette never worked on me because it's more so the physical like move of doing it. CBD worked on me. The last time I quit 10 years ago, I went from vaping nicotine. I went from smoking cigarettes to vaping nicotine, and then I went from vaping nicotine to vaping CBD, and then I went from vaping CBD to nothing, right? But Texas now doesn't allow CBD vapes anymore, unfortunately. You know, there's other ones I could get. Maybe I'll try those. But you know, the land of the freedom, Texas. You know, y'all got vices. Enjoy the vape, sir. Thank you, Chris. I can appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, we're looking at gold. We're looking at the NASDAQ here, but here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's still rejecting at 29,500s. We'll see if we can hold down there. Straight coffee instead? Yeah, bro. What's the news today? We had news earlier that pushed oil back down, that the Iran president Pezeshkian basically said it's time to end the war now that the world acknowledges our victory or something like that. Yeah, he also said the war must end at some point. It's better to end the war today, end quote. So yeah. Armor, get out of here with that, bro. Get out of here. Yeah, I mean, I usually just cold turkey it too. Yeah, we have flash PMI at 9:45. We'll see what that looks like. Flash PMI data at 9:45. I don't know. We haven't got a tweet yet this morning, and the news has been a little bit light. Again, UBS cut the Walmart price target to 130 from 140s. And again, look at Walmart here. Again, I asked this question, but does anybody want to buy Walmart? Walmart had bad guidance for Q3 EPS, and now they have fallen all the way to 103.60s here. So they're down. This definitely negatively impacted the market at least a little bit, but Nvidia also had news that they're thinking of acquiring a startup that competes with them. And so I think it's good and bad for Nvidia. Just it acknowledges some of the competition for it. No, they definitely don't, Java. I'm buying Walmart at 100. I'd buy Walmart. Walmart needs to discuss international growth plans and acquisitions to remain interesting at this valuation. All right, hold on. We got a big green candle on the NASDAQ here. Back up to 29,500s. I want to see if this is news. Iranian President Pezeshkian reiterates Iran will under no circumstances bow to bullying, according to Al Jazeera. I don't think this would make markets go up low. Could just be normal price action, but let me make sure. Oil is not moving here really, so see if we can get over 29,500. Oil's still moving down. Google's up, Apple's slightly green, but Apple had a bad day yesterday. Amazon or AMD up to 840 or 474s. Amazon slightly green. Meta's up a little bit to 550, 540s. Gold will pull back now. Most jiu-jitsu guys I know are very healthy and performance conscious. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, outside of, you know, getting on gear. For the most part, yes. Again, Iran's President Pezeshkian reiterated Iran will under no circumstances bow to bullying, apparently. But I don't think that's what did this. Outside of that, it's a little quiet. NASDAQ's just flat. We did reject again at 29,500 here on NASDAQ, so it does kind of confirm me exiting where I did. We're watching oil, watching gold, watching some other stocks as well here. Spacex did pull back pretty big yesterday. If we look at Spacex, it's at 135s now. SpaceX still on a dip here over the last like 5 days, 4 days. Hey, what's up, Ty the Fly? Gas features, shut up. Everybody's on gear nowadays. I'm not. I mean, I'm not against TRT. If I have one, I'll probably, we might try to have one more kid. That's why I'm not on it. But outside of that, you know. All right, look at the NASDAQ come back down here. 480s. All right, NASDAQ starting to drop pretty quickly here. Back to the 200 exponential. We did reject right there at 29,500s, but we are in kind of a range, and I don't really see any news coming out that's moving things in any significant way here. The Fed watch tool is still sitting at 35% likely that we're going to raise rates now. Still 65-35 essentially in odds of rate hikes, or in odds of a pause. TRT is not gear. I mean, it's not, but you know, you got 30-year-olds getting on it now. I think it's overprescribed, realistically. I'm not against TRT and peptides. Peptides are big right now. You got like BPC, and you got like TB500. You got like Sumeriland, you got the ADHD one. I thought about getting on the ADHD peptide, really. But if it makes me feel like Adderall, I'm not gonna do it. I don't like that feeling. It does calm me down though, but I kind of like my ADHD personally. Yes, it definitely has some flaws, but rate hike decision date. So the next Fed decision is going to be September 16th. And we're watching the NASDAQ. I want to see if the NASDAQ can hold at 480s. So I do want to see if the NQ can hold 480s here. Up 46, just lift weights, take nothing. Yeah, no, I feel you. That's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not taking anything. I don't want to. It's All right, oil just jumped up though. Look at oil here. So oil is back up from where Pizeshki had said that. Oil highs of the day are about $87.69 a barrel here. We're at 87.20s as oil starts to rise back up a little bit here. Here's where Pizeshki said that quote about, you know, we should end the conflict today. It pushed oil down originally, but now we have basically rebounded right back up here. So we'll see if we hold up here, but we basically popped right back higher. Yeah, so oil is pushing higher. Dollar index about to break down. Over 1,000 people watching now, but only 117 likes. Hey, hit the like button, guys. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. I get my news from a bunch of different sources, sir. It's not just one source. It's a bunch of different ones. All right, oil back up to 87.25. Let's see if it continues to rise here. Gold is starting to pull back some now. NASDAQ is still testing that 200 exponential moving average on a short-term chart. So but there's oil pushing up again, 87.30s a barrel right now. Not really any news to move this. Markets are kind of flat. Maybe we'll get some volatility unlocked at the opening bell. We do have flash PMI data at 9:45 today. That's the only real economic release ahead of next week's big week for, you know, for markets. Nvidia, Jackson Hole, GDP, PCE, inflation, and then the next week, I believe, what's the next week? I think the next week we get NFP data, and then the week after that we get CPI data, I think. We don't have any 8:30 news. Yeah, I'm for that in baseball regarding balls and strikes. We should have had machines do it already. Hold on real quick. Look at the NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ here. Hold on. NASDAQ starting to wiggle on the upside here, bouncing back some. Oil did fall slightly simultaneously, but the NASDAQ just popped. I don't see any big news. I'm seeing news like SES. If Clarity Act continues to stall, according to Chair Selig. If Clarity Act continues to stall, the CFTC will utilize its existing authorities. I've directed staff to begin exploring rules. We're still kind of struggling. I don't like this over 29.5s yet. But at least we got some movement candles here. All right, guys. So we do have 8:30 coming in here. So we have popped over 29.500s. Let's see if it actually holds. A little bit quiet today, though. It's a good idea to enter long-term gold. I mean, I like gold long-term, but I have no idea what gold's going to do short-term. I mean, long-term gold's a pretty safe bet. I'm not an investment professional, though. I'm not liable. If you lose, don't freaking copy me. But I think gold long-term is an easy money. But short-term, we might have some swings. And when I say long-term, I mean like 15-plus years. I think outside of that, you could have headwinds, you could have movement, you could have yield worries. Short-term, meaning the next few years regarding gold and really crypto and others, the conflict takes kind of center stage. Anything that pushes yields up is going to negatively impact gold here. So we can watch it. Hello, Madeline.
Hello.
I love you. Have a good day. Hello, Jackson. Hey, bro, come here. Where are you going? What are you, lurking in the shadows? I can barely see you over there, dude. Shame. I love you, dude. I'm just messing with it, bro. I love you, buddy. Have a good day, dude. According to you, which is the best stock in current scenario? I won't blame you, just want your opinion. What's the time frame for that question? Chat, what's the best stock in this current scenario? But it depends on the time frame. Long term, I like Nvidia a lot. I like Amazon a lot. I like Google a lot. Short term, there's obviously risks. So it depends on the time frame there. If we're talking 15 plus years, Nvidia, Amazon, Google probably. You know, short term, maybe there's some hedging you can get involved with. You know, I don't hate Amazon for a lot of different reasons. I also like Apple. You know, I bought Netflix at 66, but that's the time for that's probably done. Oracle seems pretty low where it's at now, but it's been moving a lot. I'm already in Target at 86s. It's at almost 160. So we are up 83% in Target. Yeah, we should have some SpaceX unlocked today. Jack just looks exhausted lately. I mean, he's 12, bro. He's, you know. Honestly, dude, I'm genuinely against. My wife and I were talking about this the other day, but they should not make kids Jack's age get up at freaking 6 a.m. It's ridiculous. Like, kids grow when they sleep. You know, they need good sleep at this period of time. And so, like, I think it's dumb to make kids get up super early and you know, like right in the middle of their growth cycles. I just think it's dumb. I think it's unnecessary. And I get it. People are going to say, oh, well, you got to learn to work hard and you got to learn to, you know, put your boots on and do stuff. And I get it, but let them grow first. It's bad for learning. It's bad for them in general. 100% Pew. I agree. Yeah, they can try to go to sleep early, sure. But I still think it's bad. Yeah, let them sleep and grow, dude. That is when he goes to sleep, but 7 hours of sleep is enough. Not for a 12-year-old. For an adult who's already done growing, sure. I need 7 at least. But for a 12-year-old, really, they need more than that. Do you have kids? No, those two people that I just hugged and said I love you too. Those weren't kids. You know, those were my those were my 2 butlers here. All right, so my portfolio long term is green on the day right now. I don't feel best under 6. If I get like 6.5, that's probably my sweet spot, but I never actually get it. If I get under 6, I am terrible all day. I feel slow. I'm in a bad mood. I just don't, you know, that's not my move. No, you're good, Irving. I'm just messing with you, brother. All right, so the NASDAQ has finally broken 29,500 here. Again, where have we bounced on the NASDAQ? The 200 exponential moving average here. But the NASDAQ starting to push back here. Starting to push. Oil's pulling back some. It's now under $87 a barrel. The NASDAQ's about to get to the highs of the session, though. Highs of the session on the NASDAQ are right here at 539s. And the NASDAQ is starting to creep up as we get closer to that. Maybe I should have bought this little pullback at 510s, but we've been kind of swinging back and forth here in markets. Nvidia is in advanced discussions to make an investment in Cloverleaf infrastructure, according to the Wall Street Journal. Again, it talks to invest in Cloverleaf infrastructure. We also had a Canadian retail sales report. But yeah, this is a Data center powered developer Cloverleaf Infrastructure. They secure reliable electricity and powered land for major data center projects, over 10 gigawatts in its pipeline. It could expand NVIDIA's push into AI infrastructure. Are y'all bullish or bearish here? Oil's fallen down a little bit. Gold is as well, though, which is interesting. Here's gold. So gold's starting to pull back some now from some of its big highs here. Let me look at yields right now. First, we'll take a look at 2-year yields, which more accurately follow the Fed decisions. Yields have fallen down a little bit. Yeah, gold is falling down. What's up, AT? Why not trading? I mean, I've been trading this morning. We don't take every trade we could get in, but look at gold fall. Bearish aftermarket open. Looking to buy the gold dip. Expecting a rug pull. People expecting it to rise today. What in gold? 15-minute bar closed. Yeah, Brent's going to be here for the big streams. And when I say big streams, I mean like really big catalyst streams. So if it's a big catalyst, Brent will be here. But outside of that, you know, really, Brent just doesn't know about markets. I'm trading Brent, but like he doesn't know a ton about markets still. So I don't know what to do here. I'm tempted to buy this pullback in the NASDAQ, but I'm worried we're going to range. But I'll buy a small dip here. We'll take 4 contracts. Set a stop loss under the 500 level. See if we start to rebound and push towards these highs ahead of the opening bell now. Software as a service is on the bull. AI is the bear. Dead at 40 trillion, game over. Yeah. Oil's still getting pushed down some. Yeah, well, Brent and I have been friends for 20 years. So, I mean, we know each other. I can mess with Brent and he doesn't get offended by it. And, you know, that's always good. He was good comic relief. Yeah, for sure. Gold chart that zoomed in looks so catastrophic when gold drops 0.2%. Yeah, it's not a big move here, but it is pulling back some. I mean, it's still very green on the day. Gold closed in gold futures at 45.75s. Gold is now at 46.30, so I mean, it's still up a huge amount on the day. It's still falling though right now. Oil is kind of dipping down some too as well though. Hey John, I bought a 50K Flex account. Hey, thank you, Wolf. Appreciate it, brother. And again, if you want to help support the channel, again, you can check out Apex, you can check out Lucid, you can check out Take Profit Trader right now. Has 50% off, no activation fee. It's one of the bigger sales that Take Profit has done. 50% off, no activation fee on Take Profit. So again, they reduced their days to pass from 5 to 3. They also have uncapped payouts once you're over the initial buffer here. So again, if you want to check out Take Profit, use code BGT at checkout. There's the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. You can also check out Apex. $15 accounts on Apex right now. You can use code BGT there as well. You can get Lucid, end of day drawdown options, and more on Lucid. Great rules once you're actually funded in Lucid Flex. So you can use my code BGT if you want. Find all the links in the description. It's a great way to help support our pre-content. I like hanging out with you guys. You guys are pretty cool. Most of you guys are. Some of you guys, you know. But most of you guys are cool. All right, so here we go. We got to move up. We'll take a little bit off. We did get a bounce here. Let's see if we start pushing towards these highs now. Again, though, next week is the big week here. Again, next week we do have NVIDIA earnings, PCE. We have BLS revisions. Besson on Iran, Jackson Hole. Treasury Secretary Besson on Iran is supposed to debut his economic isolation plan Monday. right, so we are popping back up here. Take a little bit more off. Basically add to this if it goes in my favor here. Do we have BLS revisions? Pew, the winner. Yesterday. Congratulations, you've done it. It only took about 4 months, but you've done it. Yeah, Moderna. Enjoy you. Sorry, I'm new to this. What's Jackson Hole? Jackson Hole is an economic symposium that the federal chairman speaks at once a year at the end of the year. Usually it's in August, September, October. And so it's just an economic symposium. We're going to get out the rest of this break even here and just chill now in the green on the day. I think we're green. I'll have to look. But basically, usually in the Jackson Hole Symposium, we get some type of, you know, economic outlook. And so markets are going to be watching that. We get it every year. It's a big event for markets. Okay, so the benchmark revision is on Friday as well at 9 a.m. here. This is ahead of the Jackson Hole Symposium. So at 9 a.m., we have the BLS preliminary benchmark revision, and then at right around when Warsh starts speaking here in the Jackson Hole Symposium. Again, the BLS has been revising a lot. Does anybody want to buy Moderna right now? Gold's still pulling back. Gold's right at the volume weighted average price though. And it tends to bounce at the volume weighted average price. I might actually buy a little gold here. We're right at the volume weighted average price, but we already bounced a little bit just now. Gold has been in a kind of a free fall the last like 20 minutes here. Apple apparently paid $17 billion in taxes to Ireland after a court ruling. Yeah, gold at the VWAP right now. Let's see if it bounces here. We are at the volume weighted average price in gold. We did just buy some of this. Let's see if the bounce continues here. There we go. Liquidate some of it. Get out a little bit more. Again, right at the volume weighted average price for gold. I don't know why it's not on this chart, but there we go. Take another piece off. We can hold the rest basically flat here. So we did buy gold at the VWAP, trying to scalp this move here, but we'll give it a little bit more time. Are y'all bullish or bearish for the New York Open? We did a poll this morning. Does oil close the day over 87? For WTI cruchers. I don't know what a crucher is. For WTI futures here. All right, we're still moving up in gold, right at the volume weighted average price. I'm just going to get out there. Very small little trade, scalping the VWAP. But this is why I bought this here. If you look at the VWAP, it's right here. And algorithms love this as well. Hey, what's up, K? I shorted 4 gold contracts at 46.50. Gold's a symbol. Oh, dude, maybe I should have held gold a little bit longer here. Gold's still bouncing at the VWAP there. Oh, wait, let me get rid of the stop loss. Back up to 46.29. OPEX shenanigans in full effect this morning. Honestly, we're moving a lot. I should have held that gold trade, though. I've used TradeAvate on TradingView before. I like TradeAvate a little bit better. I like TradingView as well. NASDAQ still pushing here, though. Look. Gold bounced right there at the VWAP. We are green on the day. Here's the NASDAQ pushing towards highs. 29.5s right down the NASDAQ here. I could have held that long, I think, as well. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Yeah, all good. S&P just pumped hard. Yeah, gold's ripping up a little bit. Oil's dipping as well. S&P just broke highs of 7,700s on the day. NASDAQ's pushing towards highs of the day. No news that I see that's really moving it, though. I think we're just getting optimistic. Again, the president announced earlier a deal to sell 300,000 pounds of beef at a 25% discount to market prices as beef prices hit a record high. There's oil continuing to fall down a little bit here as well, though. So oil's starting to come down. How much time do we have left until 9 o'clock? Look at oil here. So oil did dip some. See if the 200 exponential props it up. NASDAQ will certainly crash today due to uncertainty. I mean, I don't think a crash is ever certain. Crypto market looking good. We're at 29,530s on the NASDAQ here, though. Oil right at the 200 EMA. NASDAQ just broke highs for, I believe, for a split second here. Maybe didn't quite break them, but we just went up to highs on the NASDAQ, and now we're pulling back some here. My gut says crash today. Do we crash today? I don't think so, dude. Is this Bitcoin run going to get rug pulled? I mean, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing well. I don't know if it's buy the rumor, sell the news, but so far Bitcoin has been reacting really well to the Treasury easing stealth QE announcement that we got on Wednesday. Bull or bear for the open? Dare I ask this? Your timestamp for PMI is an hour too early. Where? On the bottom of the screen? Crash will be next week. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get volatility, it's going to be next week. It's not going to be this week. I mean, maybe Friday OPEX is going to move things, but if we get volatility today, it's going to be for next week, I think. Maybe some rotation ahead of next week. Next week, again, the economic isolation plan is supposed to be announced Monday. Wednesday, we have NVIDIA earnings. We have GDP data. We have PCE inflation data. Thursday, we have claims numbers. Friday, we have Jackson Hole Symposium. We also have revisions for the BLS. On Friday, right around when the Jackson Hole Symposium is supposed to do their keynote with Kevin Warsh. So we got a lot of different catalysts next week. It is not a slow week for data. It is not a slow week for markets. And it should be interesting. It should be. Yeah, here's SanDisk. SanDisk and memory plays are doing okay here. Memory up to 980s. We'll watch MU for $1,000. Gold continues to rebound some right at the VWAP, though. And again, like going back to technicals, guys, this is why you should watch the volume-weighted average price. You watch the VWAP, it can tell you long-term pullbacks. There's the volume-weighted average price there. And so watching it makes sense. Here's the 200 EMA. So you can see we dipped under it, pulled back to it, and then rejected right off of it. And then we moved back down to the VWAP and then rebounded here. So watching the 200, I like to use the 200 exponential and the volume weighted average price to find kind of trend pullback levels. If you look at the broader trend, it is up on gold. I use a mix of this and like confirmed support and resistance. We're also looking at 4660 on gold. 4650 has been short-term support, so we can watch for that. But 4600 is also a relevant level, I think, underneath us here, as well as maybe 4625. And I hope you can also see, we talked about this a lot, but markets can move in $25 increments, especially in futures. So 25, look at all this resistance at 25, 600, look at all this resistance at 600, 50, 4650, look at the short-term support at 4650. So markets can move in 25 increments. It's one of the reasons I look for isolated, levels there. I look for confirmed levels there. Look, here's 4600. If I extend it to the left, you can see all of that resistance here. So I think if you're looking at technicals, those are the levels you should immediately kind of pivot to when you're starting to watch for levels and support and resistance. Obviously, the more big and round the number is, like 4600, 4500, the more relevant it is. But again, watching technicals in that way makes sense. You can even look at the NASDAQ for the same kind of dynamic here. Here's 4625s. Here's the 200 exponential. Like, look at the 200 EMA. 200 exponential, 200 exponential, 200 exponential, 200 exponential. And now we can watch it like 550 above us for maybe like a short-term level. But see at the VWAPs. Yeah, look at the volume weighted average price as well. Look, VWAP here. 400s, 29.5, 400s here, here, here. So if you could pivot to watching big whole dollar round numbers, milestone levels, and really like isolation. I like isolation because it makes it really obvious. Technicals work because other people think they work, right? So the more obvious a level is, like 29,400 obvious. So when we pushed over it and pulled back, people bought that dip. Right around the 200 exponential as well. So if you can find confluence with some of those type of levels, 200 exponential, VWAP, big whole dollar numbers, it can just make sense. I thought so. I wanted to hear John's take. All right, I missed some of the chat. Don't trade CME Bitcoin futures, no liquidity. Sell off at the end of the day. Would you ever trade Bitcoin futures on Trade.ava? Yeah, I mean, maybe. But it would have to be like a much longer term trade. The liquidity is very low. It's kind of like single stock futures. Like if you look at the micro Bitcoin as an example, like most people let you trade MBT. The liquidity is just kind of low. I mean, here's MBT. I guess it's not that bad. Like, the liquidity doesn't seem that bad, but it would have to be longer term trade. Bitcoin moves a little bit different than conventional assets as well, though. So, longer run-ups, but it's a little bit different than how I normally trade. I'll watch them. And I will trade it if I think there's like a big edge, but it's not something I trade regularly in futures. Do you guys trade micro Bitcoin futures? Let me know. Yeah, man. I mean, rather be cleaning. I mean, you're that Jason Santoro guy, bro. Like, I'm sorry your stock YouTube channel sucks, dude. And, like, you're obviously kind of struggling and lashing out, man. I feel for you, brother. I really do, man. But just know it's unhealthy to, like, obsess like this. Like, also, obsessing over specific people has been shown to be a low IQ trait, brother. It genuinely has in studies, man. So, like, I feel for you. You're obviously kind of addicted to playing slots. I wish you the best, bro. But you're banned for life here, dude. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Find something else to do, my friend. Because this is unhealthy, brother. It's just unhealthy. Jason, come on now. Crypto face. Yeah, he's struggling over there, bro. I feel for him. He really does. Like, again, the biggest haters are usually the ones that try to start their own channel and fail, right? And it's just unhealthy, man. It's unhealthy, dude. If he spent that energy trying to build himself up, like, you know, maybe he would do good, but it's just unhealthy. You know? Oh, I got you, brother. I got you. Chris, translation. I feel bad. You're dumb and have a flop channel. Hey, I didn't want to say it like that. I tried to, like, you know, cushion it a little bit, like, be gentle here. But, yeah, I got you, Thor. I could probably display a clock. That's a good idea. You know? Alright. NASDAQ did break highs. I don't know if it actually broke highs. It got close to there. But now the NASDAQ is pulling back. We are heading into 9 a.m. Yeah. I'm not talking about Crypto Face. I don't know who Crypto Face is, to be honest. He might be bigger than me. I don't know. Sounds like a big crypto channel. Yeah, there's about a 2-second delay. Every YouTube channel is going to have a slight delay, brother. How long do you usually trade? I scalp when I'm initially trying to build up a profit. Look at the NASDAQ pull it back here. Let me make sure we don't have any news. I don't think we do. We have flash PMI data later today, but regarding like news, I don't think we have. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any news moving this. I think this is just NASDAQ dip. I could buy 29,500, but at this point, the range is kind of longer term here. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit as well, though. Do I buy 29,400s again? Or 29,500s? The ticker for the 10-year. If you're talking about 10-year yield, it's like on TOS, it's TNX colon CGI. Here's 10-year yields. But honestly, realistically, it's better just to Google 10-year treasury yield and look at like CNBC or Market Watch or something like that. It's yields chart. It's going to be better than this and easier to watch. But if you can pull it up on TOS. It's TNX. Gold, man, bouncing right at the volume weighted average price. Still dipping down sub here. I totally misheard that. Misheard what? Misheard what? Sorry, bro. Y'all got me Googling Crypto Face now. It's exactly what I thought he would look like, honestly, at this point in time. Crypto Face. It's exactly what I thought he would look like. Again, Anthropic IPO soon is supposed to be competing with SpaceX. We'll see what that looks like. Here's 29,500s on the NASDAQ, though. Do I buy this dip? It's a little early. But do I buy this pullback on the NASDAQ at 29,500s here? We're not quite low enough yet. 29.5s is right here. Go Tigers. I don't know. Somebody started mentioning Crypto Face. I don't know who the heck that is. Enough people mentioned it where I'm like, this is either a spammer or I don't know. When are they IPOing? Probably in the fall. We were supposed to get the OpenAI IPO sometime this year. They pushed it to next year, though, with all the volatility going on in chips and AI and fears and Burry and all that different thing. All those different things. Now, we should get the Anthropic IPO, I believe, in the fall, right? Y'all can correct me here, but I'm pretty sure they're talking about a fall IPO for Anthropic. And again, Anthropic is going for beating SpaceX's $75 billion IPO. So Anthropic is trying to beat SpaceX's big IPO in terms of size and scale. Will they? Let me know. I think we see 29,000 today. No, you're good. You're good, Digital. I didn't even hear what you said, brother. The chat moves too quickly here, dude. So let me go back and read it out. I feel attacked. All right, here's 9 a.m. in about a minute. Yeah, I don't really see you say anything too bad. Anthropic has a good chance of beating SpaceX. I think it does as well. And regarding Claude, Claude is like one of my most used AI systems. Claude's great. It's been great. It's gaining a lot of traction over other AI, AI systems. So I mean, Claude is, yeah. I'm going to be watching Anthropic's IPO incredibly closely. I might regret not buying the NASDAQ here at 29,500. The 9 a.m. scrum, though, was in about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It's a scam, almost certainly, Guillermo. Be careful, brother. It's a scam. Happy Friday, yo. What's up, AI? Oil's still dipping down. It's under 87 a barrel, though, ahead of this. I'm watching 29,500s here on the NASDAQ, though. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. We went to highs and then pulled all the way back, and now we're sitting tight. Question is, why is John's beard still here? Look, I no comment here, no, dude. No comment. Look, I did shave my beard. See, here's a picture of it. It grew back already, you know. I was gonna yell buy gold. You say buy or sell gold. It's usually buy or sell gold. You say buy or sell gold, I'm looking at you. You know, skeptical eyes. All right. Yeah, it's Friday, guys. We'll see if we get anything. Oil just dipped under the 200 EMA, though. Look at oil. Gold is still pumping up, and oil dipped here. I wonder if, I don't think this is probably just the 9 a.m. move, but look at oil fall here at the 9 a.m. scrum. Lurkers, are you here today, guys? Are you here today? Are you lurking in the shadows? Yeah, I'm looking at the Fed Reserve here. Next week's a busy week. Yeah, so look, next week again, Kevin Warsh, Jackson Hole Symposium, 10 a.m. on Friday. We also have the benchmark revision by the BLS on Friday, I believe, as well. Let me check the BLS site. Yeah, we got the benchmark revision also at 10 a.m. right when Warsh is set to start his keynote on Friday. That's going to add even more volatility. So just be careful, guys. The benchmark revision's at 10 a.m. Kevin Warsh starts to speak at 10 a.m. on Friday. Friday next week is going to be big. Wednesday next week is going to be big. So just be careful next week here. This week, a little bit boring with economic reports. We didn't have too much going on, but next week is incredibly busy. All right, I said hello to the lurkers here. What's up, lurks? Nope, I'm here. every day. What's up, Bruno? Steel gold. I'm here every day. Lurkers unite. Hey, thank you. I'm working, lurking like a ghoul. Yes. Hello. Not saying I am. Not saying I'm not. Yeah, I did break 176,000 subscribers here, so shout out to you guys. Appreciate the love. Are we still in sub-only mode? Yeah, that's actually a good reminder here, my friend. Let me throw this thing in sub-only mode. There you go. All right, here's the NASDAQ still kind of moving around. I'm still watching 29,500s. But the NASDAQ's starting to turn a little bit. All right, so Canadian minister in charge of U.S. trade ties will meet U.S. Trade Representative Greer at 10:30 on Friday in Washington, according to a Canadian statement. So that's going on today. All right, we are still dipping down some. $86.60s. Lurking from down under. Now only the real ones can chat. What do you think about buying Walmart right now? I don't know. I'm not necessarily interested in buying it yet. Too high of a PE ratio. So yeah, we have PMI, flash PMI at 945 today. Here's that 500 level. I'm tempted to buy it though. I'm gonna buy a little bit right here. Just try to take the trade. We'll take 4. Put a stop loss in under 5s. See if we can build up a little bit more profit before we start taking larger risk at the opening bell. How much do you know about the Jackson Hole and its significance? I mean, I've covered the Jackson Hole Symposium for years now under Powell. It's going to be Warsh's first one. It's generally market moving and significant, but I think the question mark with this is whether Warsh is going to be as willing to give forward guidance as the historical symposiums that we've seen at Jackson Hole. I think he's going to be a lot less willing to give forward guidance. Like, generally it causes volatility, but again, Warsh is different. He is a lot less willing to give out, you know, future projections, rate paths, and more. And so, you know, I think it could be big. It could also be nothing. If he does give out forward guidance, I think forward guidance is going to be even more influential just because everybody expects him not to. So because of that, if he does end up giving it out in that way, then, you know, maybe we'll get some movement here. Hey, nice, yo. Got my 25,000 payout from my fund of futures yesterday. Hey, congrats, my friend. Enjoy it. So I'm saying 25,000 is not small here, brother. It's not small. Yeah, I got stopped out of this little trade, but that's all right. We're breaking down under it. But congrats to, yo. You've done it, brother. You've done it, man. Good job, dude. Like I said, if I found 25,000 on the ground, I would probably pick it up. You know, some say that's not a small amount of money. And, you know, if somebody was like, hey, John, here's 25K, I'd probably take it. So, congrats to you, my friend. Good job, dude. Maybe I should have bought oil at the VWAP here. You'll say a lot of nothing. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. Yeah, there's no giveaway going on right now. I don't know why y'all are. I'd rob you for 25K. I'd rob myself for it. You know, strong arm myself here. Wait, is this guy about to start rapping? Oh, he is, dude. Oh my gosh, what is that? Drop smoke? Alright, oil bouncing at the volume weighted average price. Look at this. I might have gotten faked out here on this little 29,500 trade, but We're heading into the opening bell. I don't want to take too much risk. Are you bullish or bearish? I don't know. All right, oil just jumped up a little bit here. Oil still popping back up to 87 a barrel. All right, guys, 20 minutes. I could buy the 200 exponential here as well, but we're kind of big range, but sideways here. Again, flash PMI data at 9:45. How much super chat cash to get a question answered? Bro, just ask the question. You don't have to pay me money to. I mean, as long as it's a reasonable question, yes. Go ahead and ask it. If it's not a reasonable question, I might not answer it here, but you can ask. We don't charge money to answer questions, brother. Maybe I should, you know. I could be like Miss Cleo. But, you know, that's not something we generally do, bro. I mean, you can ask a question. All right, guys. NASDAQ's starting to flush down here. Look at this. So we're under the 200 exponential now in the NASDAQ. Heading into the opening bell. We do have flash PMI data as well. Will Nvidia go up on the report next week? I have no idea, dude. But the NASDAQ just fell under the 200 EMA, under 29,500s. I see Iran Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf says Iran and Iraq's alliance is unbreakable and vowed they would again confront the U.S. and Israel, end quote. That might be pushing. I mean, the NASDAQ is just starting to turn. The oil's not really running up on something like this, so it's not really oil related. I think a lot of this is Nvidia pulling back. Nvidia just dropped under the 200 exponential. But some red candle showing up in markets, but oil's not really up on this, so it's not geopolitically related. But we are down a little bit on the 200 exponential here. Me and the NASDAQ are in a toxic relationship. Aren't we all, brother? Back down to 480s here on the NASDAQ. Starting to give up some of the gains we made earlier, but we're still up pretty decently on the day still. The POC is all the way down there at 355, so we still have some room. I don't see any news for you driving this. The only news I see is Iran's Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf says Iran and Iraq's alliance is unbreakable, and they vowed they would again confront the U.S. But oil's not really moving up simultaneously with it, which means it's not geopolitically related. Gold is moving up some right now. But the NASDAQ just kind of giving some gains back. I think this is Nvidia pulling back some and some other tech pulling back some. But not too much yet. Q's looking like it's ready to fall. The nervous leg twitching and bobblehead is from the ADHD. Still vaping. It's just, you know, that's how it goes. We're at 29,480s on the NASDAQ. This is the bottom that we saw here at 480s at the 200 EMA earlier. But again, there's enough weakness to where I don't necessarily trust it. I have a leveraged inverse ETF of the Kospi. So you're betting against memory. Kospi went down 6% 2 days ago, so the ETF should go up 10%. Instead, it went up 12%. Any reason why? Leveraged, probably. Yeah. All right, NASDAQ still falling. It's at 475. Let's watch 75. 75 $25 level could move it. I thought they fought a war against each other. Shh. You know, look, their alliance is unbreakable, bro. Yeah, my legs don't stop moving in the morning here. I don't know why. It makes my head look like it's bobbing. It's okay. All right, so look at the NASDAQ still fall. We were under 475s now. The NASDAQ is continuing to dip. NASDAQ still falling down. So we got about 15 minutes until the open, about 10 minutes before the market on open data. Is it caffeine? I don't know. I do this anyway. All right. Look, we're down to under 470s. You said Wednesday and Friday next week are big news. Yeah, I mean, we got NVIDIA. Wednesday we have NVIDIA earnings, which is kind of like the Super Bowl of earnings. NVIDIA is the most heavily weighted stock in the stock market. It makes up the largest percentage of the NASDAQ, and I believe the S&P as well. So because of that, it's going to move indices, it's going to move futures, it's going to move markets, it's going to move yields, maybe a little bit. It's going to move it's going to move everything, basically, especially if it comes in big, over, under. I mean, they're going to beat and raise, almost certainly. But we don't really know how they're going to respond. Markets have been really strict with tech and semiconductor earnings, chip earnings. So it's going to be a big event. Also, same day on Wednesday, we have GDP data, which, you know, if you're worried about a recession or if you're worried about stagnation in the economy, GDP data is going to be relevant. And we have the Fed's preferred inflation metric, same at 8:30 on Wednesday, PCE inflation data. Friday, we have a benchmark revision by the BLS, and the BLS is who produces the labor reports. They report the CPI inflation reports. And then we have Kevin Marsh at the Jackson Hole Symposium. Apple might actually be the biggest market cap, but I don't know about weight. Let me look at the weights of the NASDAQ. NVIDIA makes up almost 13% of the NASDAQ. Apple makes up about 11%. So even though Apple might be larger market cap wise, we're talking weight, percentage weight in the indices that make up markets like S&P and the NASDAQ. NVIDIA is almost 13%. It's 12.78% of the NASDAQ. So it's the largest, most heavily weighted stock in the NQ. S&P, I think it might be a little bit less of a percentage, but I still think it makes up the largest percentage in the S&P as well. Let me see. S&P NVIDIA weight is... Yeah, it's the top number in the S&P. It makes up 7.56% of the S&P, which is the largest weighted stock. Apple's number 2 at 6.5%. Do we hit a recession this year? I don't think so. Bull or bear for the opening bell here, chat. There's the poll. NASDAQ still going down here. Pulling back quite heavily ahead of all this stuff. So again, flash PMI data 945. We'll see what that looks like. But the BLS revision is going to be Friday as well. Look at the NASDAQ still fall. Bears stepping in at the opening bell here. See if we actually hold now, but the bears are kind of stepping in now. Look at oil. Okay, so oil just jumped simultaneously here. Look at oil. So oil jumped simultaneously with NASDAQ falling, but I don't see any news. I see Lebanon's Hezbollah says U.S. sanctions will not deter its resistance activities, according to SNN. But not really a huge move, but oil did jump up a little bit there, and the NASDAQ still kind of falling ahead of the opening bell. We're kind of in this flat range in the volume profile, though, but maybe we'll have more room downside. Gold pulling back still. Bitcoin and crypto still doing okay. They're at 76s. I hit almost 80,000 this morning. Yeah, OPEX day. We'll see what happens today. All right, we're still falling. I'm tempted to buy a dip here, but we got the market on open data in 6 minutes. I don't want to get influenced by that. I'd have to cut it before then, which I probably would, but I think I'm going to wait. Sell the MOO data treats us first. NASDAQ continuing to fall. We've only had one green candle in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes. Still pushing down here. The VWAP's at about 417, so I am looking at the VWAP area. But looking to re-enter. Are y'all long or short here? What do you guys think? NASDAQ's still falling though. Still dipping. Oil kind of pulled back though as well here, so nothing too crazy yet. And remember guys, Apex does still have the cheapest accounts in the game here. You can get a 5-pack bundle for $75 on Apex. So if you want to learn to trade, most day traders do lose money. And so you can get cheap accounts on Apex right now. It's a great way to help support our content if you appreciate it. You can see Apex, nope, $75 for 5 accounts if you use code BGT. You can buy a single account for $16.70. They also have no activation fee, 100K accounts for $59 using code BGT. You can get 5 evals, 100K evals for $2.95. Very cheap relative to most other platforms here. So again, if you want to help support us, check out Apex. Here's the link for them. I'll put it up. Again, also Take Profit's got their 50% off deal. You can get Lucid as well, max discount using my code BGT. There's the Apex link if you want to check it out. All right, NASDAQ still falling here. We're at 444s. My short Take Profit is 29,324 and the NASDAQ 4 minis in. Hey, good luck, dude. 324s. I mean, it's a long day trade down here, brother. You're way down here. I appreciate the donation, though, my friend. Thank you, brother. But you are right here. Which I don't hate volume profile-wise, but we'd have to get a lot of bearishness at the open for that. All right, guys. Market on open is in 3 minutes. The music's playing. Y'all can hear the music, right? Yeah, the music's still playing. I'm shorting. Friday suck. Pump and dump. So many lines of resistance above. Short everything. I say catch that bottom. Nice setup for a bull run at the open, but I'm not trading today, just watching. Long. Looking to re-enter. What did I tell you? Rug pull. I don't know if this is a rug pull. It's definitely some bearishness, though, in the last 20 minutes or so. But we're definitely down. Again, Walmart is going to roll out tap to pay to all US stores by 2026. Walmart doesn't have tap to pay in stores, in all their stores. It is 2026, by the way. Get with the program, Walmart. Sam's Club's going to introduce contactless payments beginning August 24th. Yeah, I'm watching 29,400. I'm watching the volume weighted average price down here. Here's 29,400. It's right around the VWAP. So I am looking at this level at the open. We'll see if that area actually holds, but I am watching that spot. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half left until the market on open data. There's not really a reason here, I don't think. It could be chips pulling back. Nvidia kind of dipping down. So Nvidia was over 218s. Nvidia's been falling over the last 20 minutes as well. We also have some other tech names falling down, but I don't know if there's any necessarily any news. Friday suck. Dude, why is... Oh, I don't have instrumental selected. That's why. My fault. All right, guys, less than a minute before the MOO data. Let's see how it moves things. Hey, thank you for the subscribe, Jim. Thank you, bro. Jimothy, I appreciate it. Again, let me know, is this buy or sell the open, guys? What do you guys think? Buy or sell? We did a poll, 60% bulls at the open, 40% bears. But vote on the poll if you haven't yet already, guys. Just vote, you know. I'll turn it to a politician real quick. Flashed up, looks very bearish. Sell, buy, sell, buy. Look at, oh, okay, hold on. There's the market on open data here, and we got a big bearish reaction to it. So there's the MOO data. So far, we got a big bearish reaction to the NASDAQ here on the MOO data. Nvidia just fell too. Unless there's news coming out simultaneously, which I don't think there is. But the NASDAQ did just pull back here at the market on open area. I'm not ignoring you, Max. Oh, you're talking to Pew. Okay, fair. Yeah, definitely some bearishness at the market on open data. 29,420s here. 5 minutes before the opening bell, chat. But definitely some red showing up. Britt started a fishing channel. Britt doesn't fish, bro. Britt doesn't fish. His dad fishes. I fish with his dad sometimes. But Britt's not a fisherman. You know? We can't all be great. Nvidia pulled back. NASDAQ dipped heavy here, though. Any ideas, John? I mean, I don't really... I'm going to let the opening bell play out. I don't really... we pulled back enough where I think a buy could make sense. But obviously, if the opening bell picks up and momentum continues down, we could have a, you know, OPEX today. All the other question marks regarding today. I think it's ambiguous right now. We are still very green on the day, and not very green, but we're green on the day in the NASDAQ. Oil's back under $86 a barrel. Gold's very strong on the day. But I think it's too early to predict the direction here. I think most people are going to say bearish. But I also think, you know, if you look at a longer term chart, we could be in the wake of a pullback. I'm watching the volume weighted average price around 400s here, though. So I am looking at this 400 level, whole dollar number, volume weighted average price area right around 400. I think that makes sense to pay attention to. But, you know, again, it's going to depend on what chips do at the open, and I'm really not sure yet. I think, again, it's a little ambiguous. I think you could argue a pullback here, but we also broke down under some major levels where we're at now. So, yeah, I think the open will be interesting, but I'm not really going to give it direction bias. I'm not really sure, and I'd rather just be honest about that. You know, you got some people who are like, yeah, we're definitely going to run at the open, and then when we drop, they're quiet. You got others that say the opposite, but I'd rather just stay ambiguous here regarding it, because I think it's too hard to tell whether we're in a dip Okay, hold on. Nvidia must have just announced some news here. This is what's making markets rebound ahead of the open. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia just jumped up to 218s real quick. Let's see if there's news on Nvidia right now. All right, so I see news about market chatter, but this is this is earlier news. But look at Nvidia jump. This might boost markets back. But Nvidia is going to pay $6 billion in licensing and hiring deal with AI startup Poolside. Nvidia just ramped up here though, 218s in Nvidia. MU jumping up as well here. So something is moving these, but I don't see anything on the tape yet. Let's see. Look at Nvidia rise. Again, we are ahead of Nvidia earnings. I don't see any news for Nvidia here moving things though. Very strange. Chips are rebounding pretty strong here though. We get MU jumping up to 980s right now. 990 almost, ahead of the opening bell in less than a minute here. I don't see any news showing this though. And it looks catalyst driven, but you never know. Generally, things don't just jump randomly like that. This much. I'm still looking for news here. I'm sure some people are going to tune in trying to figure out what this news is. But again, chips rebounding ahead of the opening bell. Look at Nvidia. 30 seconds left until the open. All right, here's the opening bell in 15 minutes. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Good luck, team. Hit the live button next to the play button if you're delayed. All right, there's the bell. All right, and NVIDIA just gave back all the gains it just made just now. So NVIDIA did give back all the gains it just made. No tweets that I see here. Here's the NASDAQ. Chips pushed up to highs of the day though, right before the opening bell. MU got up to 990 plus. No news, but big volatility. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, there's the bell. Yeah, I don't see anything across the tape. Let's see, U.S. CENTCOM told CNBC that the U.S. military helped over 660 million barrels of oil through the Strait of Hormuz since May. But oil's not really moving here, so I don't think that's what this is. Watching NVIDIA closely here, though, the NASDAQ still looks weak here, though, to be honest. We are about a minute and a half into the day. Gold is still rising. I think this is memory related, though. MU moving, NVIDIA moving, SanDisk moving. Still looks bearish, though, to me. Flash PMI data releases in 15 minutes. So Flash PMI data is at 9:45. So yeah, Flash PMI data releases at 9:45. NASDAQ still falling though. Look, it's under that 400 level here. And it does look like a broader downward trend in the NASDAQ now. Look at this drop. Red open so far here. Here's some of the higher volume areas. Point of controls at about 355 on the day, it looks like. But definitely weakness at the opening bell. Memory starting to pull back now. Very strange we had that move right before the open and then we're reversing it now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking any trades yet. We're too close to the bell. There's too much volatility here. I think maybe you could argue I mean, you could obviously argue a short right now. But to be honest, I'm looking at memory names, and MU is still kind of flat. It is down a little bit since the opening bell. SanDisk as well. Or SanDisk is actually pretty red. Nvidia is pushing towards highs, though, so I don't know if there's any direction that's easy right now. Nvidia at 218s, towards highs of the day. Rebounded from that big drop it made right after the open. But we have other tech pulling back, and the Nasdaq's about to tap 350s right around the point of control here. So, yeah, OPEX. Yeah. Oil is starting to move up a little bit. After the dip of bull. Yeah, I mean, look. I'm going to let this play out. I'm not going to take anything yet. I could short 400s now right around the VWAP here, but I want to wait a little while. So I do want to wait a little bit here. Gold's still dipping down some here. Broadcom backs SPV tapping debt market for $70 billion to support AI build out. This could be what this is. AVGO's ripping at the opening bell at 375. Maybe competition concerns. But again, we've had a lot of bearishness at the open. Nasdaq testing that low of the open here again. Just cracked it. We're in the point of control right here, though. I don't like the move. I don't like taking anything here. I gotta wait. We'll see if we bounce at 350 and get back up to 400s, and then maybe. There's the Nasdaq still breaking lows, though. The Nasdaq is weak so far. Apple pullback, Bitcoin dump. Yeah, we're definitely red so far here. Starting to give back some of the gains we've made. We're at 350s now. And we're still falling. I generally do worse on Friday. Are y'all red or green so far today? I'm green, but very small, and I generally do worse on Friday, so I have to be careful. MU still pulling some back. Nvidia starting to dip down too. So if we get some unison in terms of tech, I'll be more willing to short. But we do have flash PMI data in 10 minutes, chat. Super red, slightly green, red, 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 green, green, green. Read on my cash account and my eval. Hey, nice wolf. I'm green as well, but it's very small, and I haven't really been able to build up a large cushion so far today, so I have to wait until we get some edge here, I think. One area I might buy it, though, is at 315s, 320s. It's right around the previous closing price. And just look for like 350s, 30 points up, maybe. Light green, flat, red. Yeah, it happens to us all, Tiny. All right, here's a move down. We're about to hit the previous closing price or the Asian low, whichever you want to call it. Hey, yeah, no, I do remember your take profit level. It's at what, 324 right here? And then we have had a big move, so hey, that's a great trade, brother. Good job, dude. It's a great trade. No trades today. Long term is big green thanks to gold and silver. Yeah, I'm going to buy 320 here. It's right at the previous closing price. We'll take 4 contracts, but I don't like it as much. I don't like trading against the trend as much, but it's small. We'll get a stop in here. I just want to see if we bounce. It's right at the previous closing price for the Nasdaq as well, and we could have some support. The problem, though, is that memory is still kind of fading some. we go. We'll take a little bit off there. There we go. We'll take the rest off there. All right, so we got the quick little bounce at the previous close. Let me get rid of my stop. I mean, we're up some on the day. It's not a huge cushion, but we got a little bit here. Again, private equity firm Apollo confirms data breach amid hacking wave targeting financial giants. Cloverleaf targets gigawatt scale AI factory build out in the US. Again, they form a partnership with NVIDIA to deploy the NVIDIA DSX platform at AI sites. But yeah, like I said, we're right back to the previous close here on the NASDAQ, which is why I bought it where I did here, right at this light blue line here, previous closing price. I thought we might get a small bounce there. We took it, but we have so much momentum, I'm not going to hold it super long here. Gold's still pushing up. It's almost at 350s. MU and memory names still falling down, though, here today, chat. So just be careful. MU, memory names still falling. NASDAQ still at the previous close. Flash PMI data releases in about 5.5 minutes. So we do have something going live there. No, I cut my stop. I got out. I got out my stop. We're still right at that previous close, so I'm just nervous about these levels here. Again, flash PMI data in 5 minutes might move things. But again, look, guys, where do we bounce? We bounce at the previous closing price. This is an automatically documented level on every chart that I have on TOS. But it makes sense. MU bouncing back a little bit here, though. Yeah, chips and memory have been falling down some. NVIDIA's kind of flat, so it's mostly MU DRAM names. If they continue to bounce back, maybe the market will surge back up. But we got 4 minutes before flash manufacturing PMI. Yeah, Rigetti up to almost 17s, so quantum. QBTS is up as well. Quantum stocks are moving. I don't know if there's quantum news. I'm telling you it's because of Kramer. Maybe. Still bouncing right at that previous close. I would take a trade, but we have the flash PMI data that's releasing in a few minutes here. I don't want to risk. Again, manufacturing PMI for August. Services PMI for August releases in 4 minutes. Still holding at that previous closing price, though, here on the NASDAQ. We're still moving up a little bit. We're at 360s right now. I don't have a timer for this one. I don't know if it's a big enough release. We'll see how it moves markets, though. But we'll cover it when it goes live, obviously. Hey, what's up? What's up, B? How you doing, dude? Appreciate the sub, my friend. Thank you, brother. Nvidia is still falling down. A short might be interesting here ahead of this print, though. Nvidia is right at the previous closing price as well, but the market might start turn here. Yeah, like here's the red and the NASDAQ following it. So I can't really take it, though. 2 minutes until flash data. Memory names also falling. Longer short here, chat. What do you guys think? We got flash data, remember, in a minute and a half. So 1.5 minutes until flash data goes live. PMI data. There's the NASDAQ start to retest this 320 level. It's PMI, it's the Purchasing Managers Index. It shows strength or weakness in services and manufacturing in about a minute. Long from 300. All right, guys, so we're at the previous closing price. We've now broken underneath it here. But again, there's too much potential support for Nvidia at the previous close as well. 45 seconds till the PMI data goes live. Bearish today. It's a bearish open for sure. We filled the whole gap down. We're now right at the previous closing price. This light blue line right here is the previous close. We basically filled the whole gap down. 30 seconds here, chat. 30 seconds. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the reports. All right, weaker manufacturing, stronger services is the story. Weaker manufacturing, stronger services. We showed up at 53.2 for manufacturing versus 54 expected. 56.8 for services versus 53.9 expected. The initial reaction has been a positive one on the upside here from the flash data. But again, stronger services, weaker manufacturing prints is what we're seeing here on these reports. I'll put this up on screen, but again, we did show up. Services showed up at 56.8. They forecast 54. And again, so far, we've had a positive reaction here in the NASDAQ. You can see this print here. So far, we're at 56.8 for services versus 54 expected. So that's the data right there on screen. Services beat, manufacturing miss, but the NASDAQ does like this. It could be dovish, but sometimes the first move is the wrong move as well. Memory names also starting to bounce back some simultaneously here, so. Hey, what's up, Bruce? How you doing, dude? My jiu-jitsu friend. Yeah, Robinhood flying up here. Look at Robinhood. Honestly, so far, positive reactions from the flash data here. So positive reactions, you know, from the flash data. Still moving up in the NASDAQ here. I don't know if I like the long side here, though. I think this might be an overreaction. I might short it. You know what? We will short it here. Again, I don't know if the flash data is really going to boost markets that much. So I am shorting this. There we go. We'll take some off. There we go. Take a little bit more off here. Take a little bit more off there. And we'll ride the rest potentially down to the bottom. There we go. All right. That's close enough to the bottom. I'm going to get out there. We just made like $300 on that trade. I thought this might be an overreaction. Flash data is important, but it's not that important to move markets like that. So yeah, we're now up 3 something on the day. It's been a good week. It's been a good week. You know, here's my P&L this week. We are currently on the week up $3,043. That's a good week. We pushed right back down to the previous closing price, but we've had a sideways trend here. No, I didn't see UFC BJJ last night. Digital, sorry, brother. I was actually training jiu-jitsu last night. I went to the later class. So. I like this channel. It's great. Definitely great. All right, so the NASDAQ just went red on the day. Technically, as of now, technically red on the day. Yeah, I've been trading back for months now. I've been traveling and stuff. Now that summer's over, though, my traveling is done. I'm tired of traveling, bro. So you just miss your house sometimes, and that's definitely been the case. Top 3 channels outside of CryptoFace. Hey. What about Golden Face? All right. What about Jim and Golden Face? The real villain. Alright, so honestly, we're kind of chopping sideways here. Robinhood's up big. Still weak on the day, though, for sure. Nvidia is right at the previous close. MU is starting to rebound back up. It's at 985s. Gold is basically chopping sideways here as well. I don't think we have University of Michigan consumer sentiment today, do we? And I just missed it? No, we don't. Sorry, bro. You had me worried for a second, bro. I was like, oh no, I missed something here. Next week, we got University of Michigan data on Friday. Which is also Jackson Hole Symposium. It's also benchmark revisions in the BLS. 350 top of the range, bottom of the range, just over 300 here. Four-hour close on ND short. Hey, good luck, dude. All right, Nvidia just went red on the day. It might pull the NASDAQ down here. If it keeps breaking, let's see. But memory name's kind of propping things up as well. Very choppy, to be honest, right here. Not really a lot of good momentum here. Very choppy. We're at 29,337s here. 29,337s. Yeah, so here's Nvidia going red in here. Watch the NASDAQ follow it potentially here. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ coming down. Nvidia down at 216s. I'm tempted to short a little bounce to the previous closing price. It's been such a good week, though. I'll take some small trades here. It's been such a good week. I'm nervous about giving it back. All right, there's the NASDAQ. Maybe I should have shorted the previous closing price there and bet that the NASDAQ's going to stay red on the day. Nvidia's starting to flush down. MU starting to reverse down. Should have taken it. There it goes. You snooze, you lose here, I guess. Here's the NASDAQ starting to reverse. Maybe we get another bounce. I'll short it, but we could just fake it out. All right, we'll take it. Screw it. Let's take it. All right, we are in 4 contracts. There we go. Let's see if we can flush some more. There we go. All right, we'll take half of that off. A little bit more here. I'm going to take the rest of that off. All right. We are now up 400 plus on the day. Hey, shout out to Pew with the donation, brother. I'm buying a what? I'm buying a cheetah. I got cheetah money. Chester cheetah. So you're like Mike Tyson, you know? Hey, but thank you for the donation, Pew. $5 just to tell me you're buying a cheetah. Hey, listen. That's me for the day. Green, enjoy the weekend. Hey, you as well. Hey, appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Yeah, congrats on your cheetah buying. Good luck, dude. You know, I feel like if I tried really hard, I could probably beat a cheetah in a race. I feel like I could, you know. I feel like I could probably win. Who would win in a race, me or a cheetah? I feel like I would. Nasdaq still flushing down here. Maybe I should have held that short a little bit longer, but 29,260s. Apollo disclosed unauthorized access to cloud platforms. Yeah, I saw the hack. All right, Nasdaq hitting 250 here. We got a level at 250 on the Nasdaq. But looking red this morning for after the open. I'd have to cheat to beat the cheetah. All right, let's watch 300s here. It was the bottom of the range before we broke underneath it. So let's see if 300 rejects. We also have the previous closing price up here. But look, there's that 250 bounce right around 250. Hey, later, Tiny. Have a great day. Oh, I thought you were leaving. I gotta go. You said I gotta go with the cat on this one. Yeah, that's fair. All right, we crack lows. Watch the previous closing price at 317s here as well on the Nasdaq. Hey, nice Lone Wolf. Congrats, dude. John, if he shaved his beard, all about aerodynamics. Yeah, no, I believe that. All right, let's see if Nvidia keeps falling down. MU's giving back a lot on the day, but MU just hit the previous closing price and it started to bounce back up. Previous close on MU's about 974. It's now bouncing back up to 978. Nvidia's still flushing down though, so it looks weak. I'm still looking at a short. We got a cushion on the day though. I guess we could push a little bit harder now. Previous closing price is at 317s. We tap that level, maybe I'm gonna short it. Maybe. We're almost about to hit 10 a.m. though, and sometimes we do get 10 a.m. volatility. All right, dude, we took a small short here. We'll add up to 4 contracts here, but we're honestly kind of flat. All right, we have 4 contracts now. And we're going to take half of them off immediately as we reject at that level and see if we can hold this a little bit longer. There we go. All right, we'll take another piece off here. Hold the rest flat. There we go. I think I'm just gonna cut this here. We got a rejection exactly where I bought or shorted it, so that's nice. Previous closing price rejection is what this is. If you look at the Nasdaq here, here's the previous closing price. We've been talking about this level all day. It's this light blue line. I've been trying to go into more technicals on why I'm taking trades so people can kind of understand. Again, let me know if you guys appreciate it. I'm trying to work on that. But the previous close rejection pushing us down now. We are now up about almost 5 on the day, or about 470s, almost 5 on the day. We appreciate it, eh? Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Again, that previous closing price is so influential. Everybody looks at it in one way or another in markets. So all right, so here's 10 a.m. Let's see if we get some 10 a.m. volatility coming in. I don't know if I'm liking the short as much now, though. Here's 10 a.m. in 45 seconds. NVIDIA started to rebound back up, but it's about to hit the previous close. So if the previous close rejects NVIDIA, we could get another rejection at the previous close on the NASDAQ as well. They're both approaching it, NVIDIA and the NASDAQ here. MU also bounced on the upside at the previous close, though, so that might counter some of the short ideas here. But there's the previous close. And we got a little rejection there again. There's 10 a.m. in 10 seconds. I don't ever like the retest as much, but sometimes it works. Like, look at the rejection there, the previous closing price again. It's definitely the top of the range so far, short term. 300 could prop us up, though. NVIDIA did reject at the previous closing price, though. Yeah, 29,300 now holding us up. Hey, thank you, JF Trader, for the subscribe, my friend. Thank you, brother. Look, there's the previous closing price again, rejecting it back down here. So yeah, this is why you watch the previous closing price. It's the red to green level. John, thank you for being knowledgeable and not another loudmouth trader bragging about unimportant stuff or fostering an environment of chaos. I don't know, the chat's pretty chaotic sometimes, that's fair. I try to make little gains of like $100, but I probably do it 6, 7, 8 times a day. So I look for small base hits that compound over the day. I use it to take more risk once I build up cushions as well. Robinhood flying this morning though. Per trade, like $100. Oh, how much do I risk? I usually trade micros. Alright, so we're still dipping down. Look at the NASDAQ. Never broke over the... I usually trade up to 5 micros. 5 to 10, usually, but sometimes less. Previous closing price still propping us down here. Again, NVIDIA got up to it as well and rejected, so... We're under 300s now also. So let's see if we start moving down towards the low of the day again. 29K, it's possible today. I mean, we got a lot of the day left, so I mean 29K is possible. Again, I kind of scalp, so I take small trades. I'll take small little trades and then let them add up over the day. MU breaking down now. Looks like we might move down to test these lows. Starting to move down. What do you call a small trade? How much is that? Like $100 a trade, maybe? is what I kind of shoot for. Again, we're up 3 grand on the week or so, maybe more than that now. We're probably up like 3,100, 30 something. Yeah, now we're right at lows. I don't like shorting this here. We're too close to lows. We could grab liquidity and head back up, so I'm just going to wait. Are y'all bullish or bearish here, chat? What do you guys think? It is Friday, though. It's OpEx. It's a lot of different things, so... What kind of setup do you use? What do you mean, like strategy-wise? I look at milestone levels that other traders are watching. Technicals work because people think they work. And so with that in mind, you got to look at the most obvious, isolated, confirmed levels possible. Whole dollar numbers make a lot of sense. You know, isolated levels make a lot of sense, like really obvious highs and lows on a chart. You know, that's usually what I try to document and support. And you can kind of see we had this level 250, that's where we bounced. We had this level 350, that's where we rejected. You know, 500, a big whole dollar number. We look at historical confirmed support and resistance, and we kind of use those levels to find edge pockets in between them. Like if we can identify a range, and then another thing we do is that, or another thing I do is that we look at stocks that are moving markets as well. If we can find confluence in a direction, like an example is I looked at Nvidia. Nvidia was at the previous closing price while the NASDAQ was at the previous closing price, and you could say, okay, well, these are going to potentially reject here. That's why we took the short last time. So we look at stocks, especially Nvidia, the most heavily weighted stock in the market. But we look at, like right now, we're looking at memory, because memory and memory fears and strength moves markets a lot. So we look at MU, SK Hynix, SanDisk, and others to kind of guide us in the trades. We're back to the previous closing price, though, here on the NASDAQ. I don't like this one as much because we've tested it so much, and at this point, we might actually break it eventually. I usually only like the first test because the first test of a specific level is generally the most reliable for this strategy. Once you get second or third tests, you know, a lot of the time you break over them or under them. And here's the NASDAQ retesting it. So again, I'm not going to take a trade now. It's the third test of this. I'll just wait. Tesla had news earlier. I think they're getting rid of their solar, or they're abandoning some of their solar businesses. Their tile businesses, I heard, and that is, you know, which weren't profitable. And so maybe Tesla's getting optimistic about that. Tesla's starting to run up, though. I do see Tesla up to almost 360s. I don't see any news yet, though, for this. Could just be running up on that news that we got earlier today and getting volatility unlocked for the open. Not tiles, panels. Check the site. Green light. He said I passed Apex Trader Flooding account. Can't find where the drawdown is listed. Which account is it, brother? Hey, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, Yellow. Appreciate it. All right, we're back down here. Watch 300s right here. It might prop us up. Gold at 640s. Here's 300s. Tesla almost up to 360s right now. Yeah, I mean, I've used Apex. Again, if you want to check out Apex, this is an Apex account that you guys have seen me trade on today. That's the account we're up 3 grand on the week on. But again, if you want to check out Apex, they have the cheapest accounts in the game. Depends on which account you have. I can look it up. Here's a hint though. Type into AI. Look up Apex, whatever size account it is, if it's a legacy, if it's a new one, specify the drawdown and all that stuff, and AI should be able to answer it for you, brother. So, you know, it should be able to. Just try it. Market's kind of starting to flatten out here, though, to be honest. But if you want to check out Apex, you can use code BGT at checkout, get whatever the max discount is on Apex, Lucid, Tradeify. Take Profit as their 50% off sale going on right now. 50% off on Take Profit right now. Reduce the time to get past it from 5 to 3 days. Uncapped payouts once you're over the initial buffer there. So check out Take Profit. I do like the uncapped payout aspect of Take Profit. But again, if you want to check out Apex, here's the link. You can check it out. Help support us. We appreciate it. Shameless plug. Here's Apex. If you want, again, you can get 5 accounts for 75 bucks on Apex right now. If you get the intraday 25k cheapest account, but that's still 5 accounts for $75. There's the Apex link. Lucid's great. Lucid has great rules. Like the Lucid Flex account, they have direct to funded, which is really nice. Like on Lucid, if you go direct to funded, you can get a direct to funded account. I think you can get more discount than this too. If you use my code BGT, I think you get a little bit more than this actually. I think you get 40% off. And so code BGT at checkout will get you that discount. But Lucid Flex, again, once you're actually funded here, no consistency rule in funded, no activation fee. You get 5 payouts to live as well. And to take payouts, you only need 5 winning days of $150 or more. So I still think those are the best rules in the game. You can find all the links in the description if you want to check any of these out. I appreciate the support, guys. I'm pretty sure you can use Apex on TradingView. Yeah, I use Tradeivate, but I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, it's all different drops. Some people prefer different things. I usually choose to just pass them. It's generally it'll be a little bit cheaper for me, but you know, everybody's different. All right, Nvidia's still breaking down here. NASDAQ is completely flat here, though. We're still propping up at that 300 level we've talked about. See, this is why you watch these whole dollar numbers, is because markets respect them to a certain extent. They're not perfect, but like we talked about 300 here, and I mean that's been the bottom of the last 5 or 6 candles. When we do actually crack underneath it, though, we could start to move back down, obviously, but and there's the crack underneath it. I'm not saying we're gonna move down. Nobody knows. Markets can be volatile, obviously, but hey, happy Friday, Faye. How you doing? You doing good? Hey, good luck, green light. All right, so here's that break under 300 here. I don't trust it enough. And the reason I don't trust this enough right now is just because, like, Nvidia's been choppy as well. MU has been choppy, but they're starting to look weak. So maybe we'll get a move down to 250s now on the NASDAQ and maybe break 250. I don't know for sure though. It depends on, there's Nvidia. Let's see if we get a move down to 250s now. Here we go. Yep. As I say this, I don't know how reliable this is, but Nvidia just broke lows of the day as well. There's 275s. Another 25 number that's relevant. 270. MU just cracked lows of the day as well. It's at 967s. There's 260s. I should have taken this trade too. I called it, but didn't take it, unfortunately. There's 250s right there. So yeah, we did get the move down to 250s. Should have taken it. Nvidia starting to flush. MU starting to flush. And look. 250s is right here. Should have taken it. It's all good though. Very good day so far. And look at the initial bounce, exactly at this level at 250. It might continue down and break, but like even getting a little pit stop there confirms the level. Nvidia started to really dip though. MU still breaking down too. So it's still looking pretty weak, to be honest here. Nvidia and MU and memory names are starting to flush quickly. 960 on MU, 215 on Nvidia. Maybe rotation into next week potentially for earnings. All right, we did pop right there at 250 though. You can look at like 275 for a short maybe, but I'm not doing it. I'm not going to take it, I don't think. Not enough meat on the move, very small range. There's the rejection. Oh yeah, we're already red on the day, Steve. We've gone red on the day in Nvidia, MU, the NASDAQ. Gold's still up. The S&P's still up, but the NASDAQ and tech and memory are falling down. That's what's driving this. $250 propping us up right now, though. I mean, it looks heavy. It looks like a short, and I think the memory volatility is scaring people too. There you go, moving back down to 250s. Testing the low of the day again here. I mean, I've been shorting under the previous closing price, but we're taking scalps mostly today. We've already built most of our profit up on the day, so I don't want to give it back. Yeah, I saw that Bam Bam earlier. The question is, do we get escalation over the weekend? I'm not sure. There's MU turning here. It looks bearish right now. MU's getting back to lows. Looks like we might break this very soon, but who knows? There we go. There's the breakdown. All right, we did just crack the lows of the day just now. Yep, there we go. And that's what I'm saying. You can watch other tech to see what they're doing and see, you know, the NASDAQ. There's a little bit of lag in between it usually. So like you see MU and NVIDIA start to break down. There's a little bit of lag there that you might be able to capitalize on. There's the push down to 230s. AMD's down to 460s. MU's at 960s. I can't tell if that's a bot though. Faye. He might be a bot, I don't know. Alright, yeah, here's the breakdown in the NASDAQ down to 220s, 230s here. Still falling. $225s maybe here, but I don't really like it that much. I think 29,000 is now. I mean, we still got a ways to 29K, but there's a lot of the day left. MU just broke lows again, so we still have memory weakness breaking things down here. MU still breaking down at 950s here. Look at MU. NASDAQ just broke lows of the day again. It could be a buffet, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, 225s, 200s could cause a bounce. I mean, we're already kind of steep and MU starting to bounce here. I am a little tempted to buy now, though. Even if it's just a short-term recovery. Alright, we bought. Very small, though. So there we go. There we go. We'll take half off. There we go. We'll get out there. Yeah, we're now up closer to 600 now, so that's good. MU starting to bounce back at 960s. NVIDIA is still very weak, though. It might push us right back down here. 250, that support level held for so long. Let's see if this level rejects this. It's short term, though. It's a very small move back up. Yeah, we're over 250 again. Here's the buy stepping in. It's all relatively predictable. 275 right here. You guys red or green so far today, guys? Red or green, let me know. Sellers losing momentum. Could this be the push? I don't know. I'm still bearish, but that's why I kind of scalped the move up. If Nvidia is still looking incredibly weak. MU got a small recovery bounce, but it's still slight and it's small. And if Nvidia starts cracking lows again, the Nasdaq could get pushed right back down. So we could bounce back. I think it's, again, like I said earlier, I think it's a little ambiguous as of now. Green but red for the year. Green, 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 but being very careful. Red. I can respect the honest folks that say red on the day. Good job. Nvidia did just crack that low here. So if you look at Nvidia did just break lows. Starting to really push down here. 214s. You know, they announced news that they were considering acquiring a startup this morning, but the startup, it shows that they see it as somewhat of a competition. People are worried about circular financing and more, so Nvidia breaking down. This morning, it's at 214s here. Cousin John? I don't have any cousins named Kevin, brother. Is gold breaking long? I haven't been watching gold since the open as much. Let me see. Yeah, gold's pushing towards highs of the day at 46.60. It's at 46.56 right now. So gold's actually doing pretty good. But I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here, chat. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here. It's Friday. I'm going to enjoy my week. We got a green day on a Friday, bro. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all check out Apex if you want the cheapest accounts. Check out Lucid if you want good accounts in general. Take profit, again, 50% off. No activation fee. No caps on payouts after you're over the daily buffer. So check out them all. Here's the Apex link if you want to check it out. You can see the Take Profit link pinned at the top of the chat as well if you want to check it out. 50% off, no activation fees. A pretty good deal right now. And remember, guys, next week we got one of the biggest weeks in markets here. One of the biggest weeks. Use code BGT. Help support the channel. We appreciate it. NVIDIA earnings, Jackson Hole, GDP, PCE inflation, BLS revisions, and more next week. The economic isolation plan is supposed to be, the details are supposed to come out on Monday next week. So be careful. Y'all have a great and happy and prosperous weekend. I appreciate all the love. Yeah, go Tigers, my friend. I'm your cousin Steve. I don't have any cousins named Steve either, dude. Sorry, bro. You took a shot. You swung. No cousins named Steve, dude. Sorry, bro. Hey, y'all have a great day. Love to everybody here. Y'all be good. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. Nasdaq's starting to bounce back as I'm about to head off of the stream. Previous closing price on the NQ, though, is right here. So, again, previous closing price at 317 roughly. Y'all be good. Have a great day.